Okay, now I did.
Man, it was awesome to catch up with Big Beef. I want to thank Big Beef for coming on the pod. I had a really fun time talking to him, Primo. How great was it to hear that Beef had been signed by MLW, Primo?
That was so cool, man, exciting, and to hear how excited he is about it as well. It's going to be good stuff coming for him, and we're real happy for him here on Sit Down Marks.
Absolutely. All right.
Too happy, if you ask me.
A little too happy.
We love us happiness for him.
We love us some beef, man. We can't help it.
We love us some beef.
That's right, man. Going to be talking about beef a lot more here, hopefully, as he rises up the ranks here in MLW. Want to welcome everybody and thank Coastland Apparel for sponsoring the show today. Use that promo code BirdTV for 15% off your order. Episode number 36, fellas.
36!
6
that
months.
Reminds me of the bus, Jerome Bettis.
No, not 6 months. It's longer than that.
Is it? Wait, I thought he was 33.
9 months. 9 months.
No.
Why do you come up to me with sports facts? I
don't know. Just the 30. I always think about, our episode number coincides with famous, and 36. The first one I thought of was the Steelers. The bus. I'm pretty 100%. The mine's a little faded. So 99 and a half maybe percentage. I'm pretty sure that Jerome Bettis wore 36. So all the Steelers fans out there will appreciate it. Let me introduce my host of panels here to you. First of all, I want to welcome my co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer of the show. What's going on, Primo?
Hello. I'm back again. Another week, 36 episodes. Number 36 was Jerome Bettis. You are correct,
Thank you.
heel host.
Boom.
And look at all this cool stuff we got here. Look at this. Look, check that out. You can't you can't look if you're listening on the pod, but just know that there's something really cool, and you should tune into Twitch on Wednesday.
We're not going to describe it for you.
Yeah, I mean, we have, he's got that Marks merch all the way behind him. That flag actually looks kind of virtual almost behind him. It almost looks
like it's green
like
screen
it's a background. Yeah. So the other
we're not that fancy
co-host of the show, the babyface straight out of your mama's kitchen, the number one master of the forearm chart, assistant editor and producer, Mr. Rampage. What's going on, pal?
Oh, hi, Marks. What is happening?
Short.
That's how I do it. Short.
It's like how Matt Harley does delete. You go short.
Yeah.
Short, and the whole crowd does it with you.
Yeah, they pat the forearms. Yeah.
That's how I build up the forearm chart.
You have a gimmick now.
Yes.
That's your equivalent to Shawn Michaels stomping on the mat.
It is. Revving up the band.
Alberto Del Rio going, see.
I want to thank everybody listening right now on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, SportsWire Online Radio, Fridays at 6:45, right before the Thomas Bryce Show, and throughout the week. And also, as of today, we are on Facebook Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, go give us a follow. We are on the Facebook Podcast Network now, so go check us out. Check us out on there. And give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to the podcast. And we really sure do appreciate it, don't we, boys?
We sure do. Certainly.
We sure do.
I'd say we do appreciate it, yeah.
This one's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one today, man. Let's get the pop of the pod underway.
I'm shutting down the street, and they don't know.
I love this.
Heck yeah. You ready now or what?
Yeah.
I just like it because it covers up my extraordinarily loud typing.
I just got paid. And I'm feeling like a sheik. I just got paid. Got a pocket full of wheat. The boys, they're eating for the week. Is that velvet? The brother asked me.
If you don't know about Finn Juice, learn about Finn Juice.
I was going to say, if you haven't recognized that music by now, you need to get with the program. Be a better wrestling fan.
We're not doing our jobs if you don't recognize that music right now.
I know, we're not. You're not listening.
I've put it over quite a bit.
Yes, you have.
We have. I picked that over a couple other old school bangers, as the kids say here today.
Bangers.
So, by the way,
that slaps.
By the way, we have a guest on the show today. If you're watching right now live on Twitch, the Gobbledygooker has arrived. He is on screen here today for He's going to be hanging out with us for the month of November.
What's your best gobble? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I'll give you one.
I might have had to catch a turkey before.
I looked over and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, is that the fucking gooker? I'm like, god damn it.
I can't do
Thanksgiving. So that's how we think in my family. That's how we do impressions of my grandma. I know I brought up Grandma She Wrote before, but whenever we say that she talks, we're just like, oh, kids. Because she sounds like a turkey when she talks.
80 days away from the Royal Rumble, guys. 8-0 from today. 80.
It's going to be here before we know it.
I have something to say about that.
Let her rip.
Go on.
As your reigning, defending, sit-down Marks champion.
For another 2 weeks.
It has come to my brain, my wrestling brain, who is going to win the Royal Rumble. This week, I decided.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
So you already know, is it going to be...
I'm sorry? What did you say?
Is it Otis? Did you pick Otis? I bet you picked Otis.
He's a walking
thumb. Early pick? Is this an early pick here?
Yeah, this is I'm calling it. This is who this. I saw it. I was watching something this week, and then I was like, you know what? The stars are lining up. He's kind of in this place right now where they wouldn't expect me to see this. But AJ Styles is going to win the Rumble.
Okay.
I wanted to argue, but I can't argue with that. That actually makes
sense. We wouldn't be mad at that, by no means.
No, I would be super excited, but he's been in the company long enough now. It's around that it's his time. I just think it's his, and he obviously is going to have more title runs. So it's just,
Okay.
And it's like the one thing that he hasn't done yet. He's getting older too, so they need to throw everything at him before his contract expires, or before he's like, I don't want to take bumps anymore.
The face that runs the place is going to be the Rumble that wins in the jungle, or jungle win. Never mind. Nope.
Whatever they call it.
Nope.
Primo, this day in wrestling history, brother. Get us going. And birthdays.
This day in wrestling
history. Whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby. 212 days. Your reigning defending champion. Like I said, 212 days. Hold on.
Yep. I'm not going to interrupt you.
It is my game.
It is.
Kevin last week, our shout out fan, he acknowledged me. And I just want to say that it has been quite a good run, and I don't expect to lose it in 2 weeks at Survivor Series. You don't think I didn't hear that comment, AJ?
What comment? I don't know what comment you're talking about. It's an illusion.
So I was just going to say, we're coming up here pretty soon. We're going to be making these picks for Survivor Series coming up, and then he's going to have to put up the title. Whoever wins that's going to have to put up the title at the Royal Rumble. We got a really cool format for that, so that's going to be fun coming up. So,
yes, we do.
212 days, impressive, brother.
Woo, thank you.
I mean, it's okay.
Somebody had to do it.
That's what, 3?
It's no honky tonk man intercontinental.
We started at Mania.
It's Mania.
We did Mania Slam.
SummerSlam.
Mania SummerSlam.
If I do the full sweep, if I run through Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, I'm just gonna keep the championship forever.
You're just going to do what I tell you to. You're going
to
put it up. Well, I'll make you put it up on one match.
I'll say the Royal Rumble format is going to be that's
going to be fun.
That's going to
Yeah, that does throw a big wrench in it. So we'll explain that later on down the road, man. That's going to be awesome though.
Okay.
It's probably going to be the best way to beat you because we've had a hard time beating you on picks. So
right. I'm just going to give y'all a fighting chance for sure.
Yeah.
This day in wrestling history, November 10th. That's today for all you marks out there. Now, gulp. I put one thing today, and one thing only, because I figured we could talk about it for a few minutes.
Let's do it.
1997. We just hit. It actually happened yesterday, and also, believe it or not, this week was quite the boring week in history, except for this one thing that happened yesterday, and that was the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, it was.
Man.
So you were. I mean, I was obviously old enough to. So, your memory. So so your memory is a lot better since of when it actually happened live.
Right.
So if you guys want to go ahead and give your depiction of the events that you witnessed.
Well, go ahead, AG. You go first.
Well, because I was still a kid too, and like the thing I remember most was Bret Hart spitting. I mean, obviously I've seen the match 1,000 times, but I remember seeing it was like I didn't see it live, but it was on something that I either read about it or saw it, like where he just spit on Vince McMahon,
right,
and then
in Vince's face.
The big WCW, and I was like, oh, what are they doing? This is Bret Hart.
The best there was, or the best there ever will be.
I bet you differ.
I do not. Yeah. I concur, Mr. Hart. Well, so good, and I get that Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
he was great too, but he was kind of cunty, and Bret Hart was Bret Hart. Like it's makes me sad. That's what
for me. I watched it live in '97. Awesome time of wrestling. So yeah, I watched them all. I thought it was a work until, probably still all these documentaries started coming out. You know what I'm saying? Until we started seeing like what really happened in the inside, even when the rumors come out of, oh no, that was, that really happened. I thought it was just the way they were going to work Bret leaving for so long. And the more I listened to it and dived into the hearing and the spitting, I was like, oh wow, that's on another level. I'm like, wow.
It was a loogie too. It wasn't just a.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like a.
Yeah, he hawked it. So, I think that was the majority of the consensus, though, is that most people thought it was a work until basically, the internet got more popular and more people talked about it. And then obviously the documentaries came out, like you said. So
sure. Yeah.
I actually can't name one other thing that happened on that pay-per-view except for that main event.
I couldn't.
You guys, I just know that it was Survivor Series.
To just see what else was on that card that night. You know what I mean? Like, because I was just thinking, like, I always think about it had to be tense backstage because they're about to pull this off. They got to make sure.
And he decked Vince McMahon.
Yeah, and you got to make sure he doesn't get wind of it. What was the Wrestling with Shadows? Is that the first one that came out? Or was it Beyond the Mat?
That was another thing, too. He was filming a documentary.
Yeah.
Bret was.
Right, yeah. So when all those come out, it really put a spin on it of, wow, But, yeah, I was just going to say, imagine them planning this backstage, trying to make sure Bret doesn't get wind of it. And, it's basically between three people if they can hold it.
Right before this match happened, Stone Cold defeated Owen Hart for the IC Championship.
See, now you spoiled it. I was going to go back.
You never seen this before,
right? But you think, Vince, Shawn, and the ref. You know what I mean?
Were the only people that knew about it.
Yeah.
Well, especially like you imagine, because I wasn't it Earl Hebner.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Earl Hebner. Oh, fucking
Pearl Hebner.
No. The fucking New Age Outlaws curtain jerk, because of course they did. I bet Billy Gunn knew about it.
Oh, you didn't know?
Hey, all right, Fergus was on the show. Phil laughing.
Wrestling birthdays on this week, because today's birthdays were kind of interesting too, but I went for the whole week. I just picked 4. 1982, Dave Christ.
Nice. Local wrestler.
1981.
Who we got?
Ryback, Ryan Reeves.
Feed me more.
My brother was always such a Ryback mark, and I never understood why. I was like, he's awful.
The pre-show stopper. Your brother did like you.
He loved him. He loved Ryback. I'm like, you are incorrect in your opinions. Good Lord.
1970. Whose birthday was in 1970?
I'm going to say Christopher Eugene
Irvine.
Jericho. Irvine? Is his middle name Irvine?
Last name. But yes, Chris Jericho's birthday was in 1970 as of yesterday.
Would you be talking about the Ayatollah
of rock and roller?
Oh, hail the Ayatollah of rock and roller!
Yeah.
We need to get new sound bites.
Ayatollah of rock and roller goes up there with Shaman of Sexy. Those are like some of my favorite names, aliases.
They're good.
Y2J.
I love the Ayatollah of rock and roller.
I do too.
Just he's a genius.
And all the way back in 1950, Mr. Cowboy Bob Orton.
Cowboy Ace Bob Orton, who we
talked about him last week.
Yeah, we did.
Sit down, Ace.
Dunce.
Stay in the corner.
He had the cast on his arm for like a decade. Did we talk about that?
That's so funny. Yeah, the cast on his arm it was like his gimmick for like a decade.
Good stuff.
And that's this day in wrestling history and wrestling birthdays.
Very nice, very nice. AJ, what you got for us in the headlines with wrestling? And you got a movie that you watched this weekend.
So, news and notes. First thing we all have to talk about, all the releases, because of course.
Yep.
I'm just going to go through the names and just give me your first reactions when I say them out. Nia Jax.
Ha.
Karrion Kross.
That wasn't my reaction, but...
Yes, it was. You laughed derisively.
No, actually, because I originally read that... there was a rumor she got released because being unvaccinated or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But that was
true.
False. Yeah. So
My original
reaction was like, "What?"
Well,
right.
now there's rumor that they're going to bring her back, which please don't. Like, even if the rumor that she was unvaccinated was false, she's still Nia Jax. Karrion Kross, dirty year boy. Gone.
Yeah.
My
probably
reaction,
the best thing that could have happened to him.
Yeah, that was my reaction for him too. I was like, I'm happy for him because
me too. They were killing him.
Yeah.
Keith Lee was a big surprise to me. Who was
that
called...
one was the one where I went, what?
Yes, there were two. There were two on here where I was like,
he's had like 4 whole matches as Bearcat.
Oh no! Wow. Rest in peace, Bearcat.
Oh, now what's gonna happen to our Bearcat gimmick?
I bet
they totally screwed up Keith Lee because he was so red hot, dude.
These people, man. Yeah, but especially Keith. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Karrion Kross as well. He was the NXT champion, and then here's some sex nipple gimmicks. Like, enjoy.
Did y'all see the tweet I sent you that said,
yeah,
some guy said yes. And I wonder if they'll what they'll do with.
No, he was like, I wonder if I can have his helmet.
Yeah, I wonder if I can have his helmet.
He was like, you don't want it, brother.
Nobody wants that shit, brother.
Yeah, there it is. Nobody wants.
I saw something where Scarlett or what's her name? Is his name Scarlett?
Scarlett Bordeaux.
She tweeted saying something like he's free.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on. Some of them got 30 days. Some of them got 90 day. We're going to talk about later why they would do this. But yeah. But man, the indies are going to be hot. You know,
oh yeah. Especially because of
big Midwestern shows coming up.
Eva Marie has also been released. Who cares? So really quick, Mia Yim, Ember Moon. That one surprised the shit out of me. Lucha House Party, Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik. Oni Larkin.
Go join Samurai del Sol.
Yep.
Aha! Yes, he can. Harry Smith. Trey Baxter.
Okay, I had something to say about that one actually. Rewind to
B-Fab or Trey Baxter?
Harry Smith.
Oh, Harry Smith.
He never even made it on TV.
Nope.
They totally signed him and then released him.
Well, it's the same thing with Katrina Cortez. She was only on like once or twice, and that was it. But then B-Fab, Jeet Rama, Zeta Ramir, who was also another one that was on like one time. So yeah, all these releases, and there's rumors that there's going to be up to 10 more in the coming days. Again, those are just rumors. Who knows? Up next, Raw has had its lowest hour of ratings in the history of the program.
When was that?
Now, it was last Monday, the third hour, when the Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Big E segment was taking place. However, that is skewed because it had a ton of competition that night. You know, there was Monday Night Football. So there's all kinds of stuff and this is traditionally when ratings for Monday Night Raw dip. So as much as I like to make fun of WWE, there are mitigating factors. So Wyndham Rotunda has finally announced what he's doing. He's going to old Hollywood, pulling the Hulk Hogan route.
He's going to make a movie.
I saw the picture of him and who's it? The producer. They're like pointing.
Jason Baker is his name. So, according to Metro UK, which is who Jason Baker talked to, the filming of this movie starts at the end of the month with Calisum, I guess is how you pronounce it, Films. And the movie is described as Ichi the Killer meets Xanadu. So it's going to be Have you guys seen either of those movies?
Xanadu, maybe a long, long time ago.
So Ichi the Killer is one of the most fucked up, disgusting movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Xanadu is like a musical, so I don't know how they're going to do this, but
it's definitely it's going to be a horror, right? And also, I heard the same. This is the same guy that produced or filmed some of the Fiend's final vignettes or something.
Yes, he is. So they've been like buddies, and so he's making a movie, starts filming at the end of the month. However, people are still expecting him to show up on Full Gear this Sunday, so we'll see if that's true.
Yep. Could be a little bit of a swerve.
So finally, I found this very interesting. A fan tweeted at Seth Rollins being like, "Oh, you look down on the indies," and Seth Rollins like fucking nuts because he was like, "I came from the indies. I run an indie wrestling school right now."
Right.
So he goes on to defend the indies, and he was like, "This is where I came from." So obviously, this is a line that you don't cross. He's like, you can say whatever malarkey. He uses the word malarkey, I think, instead of bullshit, which is his new favorite word. So I don't know why he didn't say bullshit. But he's like, you don't cross that line because I love the indies. I came from the indies, and I'm still promoting and supporting and training independent wrestlers.
Right.
So that was cool of him. So yeah, that's what I got for news and notes.
News and notes. All right, AJ, what did you watch this weekend?
So, AJ's movie of the week this week is actually AJ's book report. AJ's book report of the week.
Okay.
AJ's book report of the week. So, as you guys know, I got look at that shit.
That's
awesome. By John Moxley. So, reading wrestling autobiographies, you expect them to be like, here's how I grew up, here's my, youth, here's when I made my debut, blah, blah, blah. This book is a little different because Moxley is just Moxley. It's like little short stories and little like vignettes throughout his life. And he talks about, there are some stories from like where he grew up in Cincinnati. There are some stories about like there's a whole chapter about how to make the proper sandwich and how he gets pissed off when people don't make the proper kind of sandwich. It's fucking hilarious. This book was amazing. I read it in one sitting. He also has like little music and movie reviews throughout the entire thing. So it's awesome. I highly, highly recommend anyone go pick it up. It's fascinating. He's had a really cool life. He's a really cool guy. And it's not ghostwritten, which a lot of wrestling books are ghostwritten. Nope. He wrote this himself. So it's really fantastic. And, also really quickly, speaking of AJ's movie of the week, I watched an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch where Billy Gunn was in the episode. He was in the episode fighting.
He is haunting you.
Well, I watched it specifically because I knew Billy Gunn was in it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And he wrestles a cat. And
what's that cat's name?
Salem.
What?
So stupid. So Sabrina the Teenage Witch beats Billy Gunn, and then Billy Gunn has to marry like Sabrina's sister, and I don't know. It's some weird stipulation, but Billy Gunn was actually pretty hilarious in it. So nice. That'll be the one compliment I ever pay.
One of the ants.
That's it. I don't know. I just watched this. I like fast forwarded to the wrestling part.
I haven't seen that show in a long time.
Neither have I. But watch it for.
Where would you even watch that?
It was on Daily Motion.
Make sure you guys DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks and let us know where and when you listen to the podcast, and we will shout you out on the pod. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today, boys. We're going to be talking about the week in wrestling. We watched the one of the 1987 Saturday Night's Main Event episodes where the Mega Powers were formed. Yeah, brother. Got the old famous handshake. We got some
slowest handshake.
Got some audio picks for you. Yep, the famous GIF that you always send to your buddy when a plan comes together. Like the hands, the Hogan Macho Madness coming together. A classic promo from Hogan. We'll play that for you as well.
That or the Predator one.
Right. Yeah, the Predator one.
Yeah, where it's like because normally when you give high fives, it's like right hand to left hand, but no, they're both like
opposite.
Right. Yeah. And then Primo's going to bring back music class for us, and then we're going to talk about our full year prediction here. So we do have merch. We just dropped some brand new Christmas edition merch with those Christmas logos. Primo, tell the masses, where can they get the Marks merch?
Well, let me tell you, Marks. Right now, you can get ready for the holiday season in Stun Christmas by getting some new holiday gear that dropped today. Go ahead and get it in time for Christmas at tpublic.com/stores/sitdownmarks. That's tpublic.com/STORESSITDOWNMARKS. Don't forget to Stun Christmas.
Boom.
Please,
that's right.
That's right.
Please go Stun Christmas. It's amazing.
That's right. We're all really stunning Christmas. That's my phrase this year.
It's like the best thing I've ever seen.
All right, time to get to the weekend wrestling. Let me start off by telling you what's going on in the indies this week in my indie roundup. First of all, coming up here pretty soon, November 26th, AAW going to be live, the Windy City Classic at Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, Illinois. Silas Young has already come back to there. A lot of big names that went on to sign with other companies. Karrion Kross, I've seen wrestle there a few times, so watch out. It might be a little too early for some of these guys' clauses, but just watch out here for some of these big shows coming up, as there could be some really good surprises. Also, Major League Wrestling, MLW, tonight on YouTube, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Go check it out Wednesday night, and then we'll be up after that. And then Saturday on BN Sports, talking to Big Beef, he said that his match wasn't going to be on till later. So might be a little while before we get the Beef match on there. But go check that out. MLW on YouTube and BN Sports. Black Label Pro, guys, in Crown Point, Indiana, says they are done for the 2021 season, and they will be back hard in 2022 on their socials. St. Louis Anarchy, November 20th, Granite City, Illinois, the mega ticket, the last show of the year. Me and AJ's been to the last 2 shows here.
Hell yeah.
And this one is going to be indoors. A lot of big names for this show. Gary J versus Jeremy Wyatt for the title. And then coming up, Mark's weekend is just around the corner in just over a couple weeks. Iron Spirit Pro, in conjunction with your boys, the Sit Down Marks, presents Back to Normal, Friday, December 3rd at the Community Activity Center in Normal, Illinois. Signed already Brew Baker, CJ Esparza, Storm Grayson, and your boy Trevor Outlaw is going to be on the show. So make sure you put that on your calendar. And if you're in the area, get over to Iron Spirit Pro. Come see us. We're going to be there giving out free merch, and we are sponsoring the show there with Iron Spirit Pro. And we'll be talking about that later. Next week, Logan from Iron Spirit Pro is supposed to be on the show, so make sure you tune into that as well. All right, another cool show, guys, just announced December the 5th, Glory Pro Wrestling out of St. Louis. December to Riz member.
What the fuck does that mean?
Riz member, Risotto.
Like Rizzo from Greece.
Yeah, but Risotto is a local DJ in the St. Louis area.
Risotto is a food.
With them, yes, it is. But in conjunction with them, they are putting on a show, and your boy Scott Steiner is going to be there.
Holla!
Big Papa Pump.
If you hear me.
Oh, no.
The big bad booty daddy.
It's going to be DJ Risotto and Scott fucking Steiner.
33 and
They're
3rd.
wrestling each other. Friday, November 20th, GCW Evil Deeds in Detroit. Matt Cardona versus Alex Shelley. And then the very next night in Chicago, the Nick Gage Invitational. So there's some GCW shows coming up. Limitless Wrestling coming up this weekend, November 13th, Yarmouth, Maine. Your favorite town,
Yarmouth.
AJ?
Yarmouth.
Back in Yarmouth. Prize Possession. Beef is coming back to kick Charles Mason's ass for stealing his property. That was going to be a big show there as well. And also, this coming on Sunday, First Wrestling out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. This card is called Unleashed. Now, First Wrestling's been around for a while. They've been in the Minnesota area for a while, so they are putting on a big show there. One of the headliners for that show is Billy Starks versus Hyen. So that should be a nice match there. And then Saturday night, December 4th, the night after the Iron Spirit Pro show, once again in conjunction with your boys, the Sit Down Marks.
Fuck yes.
Right.
We are making our second appearance in a weekend. We're going to be with Zawa Live Wrestling in Sterling, Illinois. The card is called Dreaming of a Fight Christmas.
Yeah.
We are sponsoring that show. It's going to be fun. Come see us. Come get some free merch. And come check out an awesome show there. And we Hartenbauer right now is their Zawa Live champion. We've got him scheduled to come on the pod before that show. So that's going to be exciting. Also, Second Wrestling, December the 12th. They are going to be on the pod, they're going to be on the pod before to talk about that big show coming up in Chicago as well. All right, guys, last thing here. I'm a little winded.
Yeah.
All right, so 3 different promotions.
Need a sip of your Mountain Dew or something?
3 different promotions come to. It's called Redneck Water, where I'm from.
Why is Mountain Dew called Red? Wouldn't water be called Redneck Water?
So it's called like Festival. It's called Restival. It's going to be in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester.
Another great wrestling town. All right, so it's being put on with Beyond Wrestling with association with Action Pro Wrestling out of Georgia, Sup Wrestling out of Tennessee, Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling, H2O Wrestling, and Limitless. All these great promotions are coming together for a big 3-day show. At the end of the year, it's going to be the December 30th through New Year's Day. So big show there coming up. So, all right, enough of me talking. Let's get to what we watched on TV last week. AJ, tell us what happened on Dynamite last week, brother.
Sure you don't want to hear what happened on Sabrina the Teenage Witch again?
I'll pass. Well, maybe on that other podcast that you do where you review old Sabrina the Teenage episodes. Go ahead and plug that if you want to, pal.
It's called Sabrina the... No, I can't come up with anything funny right now. But we go back and look through all my Sabrina the Teenage Witch DVDs, of which I have many. Anyways, AEW kickoff. Nope, yep. AEW Dynamite kickoff. We get right into it with Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels of the Dark Order.
In East Kansas City is where they are tonight.
I always forget.
The night of the thing. I don't know, man. Like, when I've always watched wrestling, it's like one of the things I always see, like, where are they tonight? So I can be like, this crowd's probably going to... So I can judge the crowd right off the bat. Like, oh, it's Philly, Chicago. Awesome. Oh, it's Poughkeepsie.
Or Yarmouth.
Yeah. Yarmouth has a good crowd, though.
By the way, one of these days I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story why Yarmouth makes me laugh so much, but that's for another time. So Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels of the Dark Order. So Alan Angels, he looked great, but I think he maybe got a bit too much office.
AJ,
good Lord.
Claw. Thank you.
Claw. Got a bit too much offense. I did it twice. Offense in. Because he's like doing all these like flippy doodads and like springboards and moonsaults and which
that was my one note for this match. I said it was good to see him in there, but I think he got in too much.
Too much. But finally, Omega hit just many V triggers and got the 1, 2, 3. And then afterwards, Kenny Omega is gonna pick up Angel and give him the one-winged angel. Angel and the angel.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. Boom, boom. Gave him the one-winged Allen Angel.
Oh! But Hangman comes out to make the save, setting up their match at Full Gear. He's still so over. Awesome. Up next, we have a CM Punk promo, which was half real and heartfelt, and then half just awesome.
Yep.
CM Punk being awesomeness things. So he addresses the Jon Moxley situation, and he says, you know, if you need help, it doesn't make you it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, you know, shameful or anything. If you need help, please seek help. There are people that care, so on and so forth. It was really, really nice. He gave a lot of respect and praise to Jon Moxley. But then after that, he goes into his actual promo on Eddie Kingston because he's annoyed and pissed off that Kingston was acting like a dick last week. So
he interrupted him. He interrupted
him. Like a dick. Didn't just interrupt him. He was like, I'm Eddie Kingston. He didn't interrupt him like that. So
Eddie Kingston talks like your grandma?
Yeah. Everybody talks like his grandma. You notice AJ's impressions? They all sound like
we're gonna have a match.
We need a reel of just AJ's impressions. Guaranteed, they all sound somewhat similar, from his grandma to the Macho Man to.
Can you dig it? We need a highlight reel of AJ's impressions. I'm Dirty Bird.
Yeah, although I do like when you do your Vince McMahon.
Look at that beef on him. That one hurts my throat. So, Grandma Kingston, he's not even in this segment. Okay, moving on. It was a great promo. So up next is a schmoz with Super Click and Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. Yep. Cage hits Cole with Concerto. Seems fine, I guess.
That'll be a good. That'll be a good feud. I like watching a couple of Christian Cole matches. Those will be good.
Yes, I want those two to feud exclusively. I don't want like the Luchasaurus.
I like how he hits him with Concerto, but they don't call it the Concerto.
No, they don't.
JR just goes, I've seen this before.
yeah.
You don't say, JR.
Right. What do they call the pedigree? They didn't call it the pedigree though. They call it the double hook, like
the underhook face plant or something like that.
Yeah. I'm like,
the double underhook
pedigree, man. Come on. Like, who cares?
Just say it.
Like at this point, that's the name of that move.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
It's the pedigree now.
Right.
Just say it.
Good stuff.
So this leads to the AAA Tag Team Championship match between FTR and the debuting Samurai Del Sol, the aforementioned former Lucha House Party member Kalisto, which at first when I saw him come out, I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't talk, which he doesn't, which is fine.
Right.
And he is with... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say nostalgia moment. Did you guys
Kalisto? You got nostalgic for
Yeah,
Kalisto?
I actually was excited to see Samurai Del Sol. And actually also Aerostar, because last time I seen Aerostar was in Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's just been in AAA this entire time.
He about broke his neck 2 or 3 times.
Dude, when he goes over
yes.
I was so in the JR obviously states the obvious. Oh, that was almost a bad fall there.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so my nostalgia moment.
Not for Kalisto.
You guys probably didn't know this because you got to be an 80s wrestler to know this. All right, so
did you
notice that FTR came out to different music?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys know what music that was?
No.
I'm going to go with
that was straight somebody's music from the 80s. Straight, like exact music. They came to the ring.
Jake the Snake.
Nope.
I also want to say something. After this, I remind me, I want to say something else about FDR, but go ahead.
Midnight Express. They came out to the Midnight Express music.
Oh, did they?
Did.
That's cool.
Yep. It was from the 80s, man. Dennis Connery, Bobby Eaton. It was... I rewound it and kept listening to it because, you think, oh, they're coming out to the same music. And then I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, man. So, anyway.
I like that it was
cool
the exact music.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the exact music.
And not a ripoff of said music.
Yeah. It looks like they, got some okay from somebody for that. So that's awesome.
Primo, what were you
say about FTR?
What I wanted to say was I'm a big fan of them having the Mexican flag and American flag knee pads.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
I really like that.
Greatest luchador champions ever.
Yes. So
Triple A. That's Justin Roberts.
So this match was basically Aerostar and Samurai Del Sol flipping. Not even just flipping, more flips. Some flips, and then some roll-ups, and then more flips, and then some roll-ups, and then more flips, and then FTR gets the win. It was a fine match, and I think the story behind it was FTR wants to kind of practice the lucha style before they go down to Mexico to defend their titles. So I thought that was a nice little touch.
Nice.
So up next, Dan Lambert is going to be the member of the Inner Circle, or that's the member that the Inner Circle picked to be on their match with Men of the Year and American Top Team, which is fine.
Yeah. I wasn't on the list. You can't pick me. No, he just
my boy
flipped out, man. He's
Dan Lambert.
He did everything but fall on the ground and flop around like a baby.
Yes,
he sold it very well.
It's all money. This segment, however, wasn't real great. It was like one of the few just straight out misses that AEW has had for a while. But Dan Lambert's still awesome. Up next, TBS Women's Championship Tournament continues. Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter. Hayter wins. Most of the match was during an ad break.
Hayter! It was, yep.
So then MJF delivers yet another just killer promo. And I love how he talked about how himself and Darby Allin were like pillars of the company, but they're two completely different people. Basically puts him and Darby Allin over all the other young guys, which is chef's kiss. But so they're just building to their match at Full Gear, which is going to be so cool. And then, there's the typical Sting comes out and blocks MJF trying to scamper, blah, 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 schmazzy schmaz. Can't wait for this match. Cody Rhodes versus Andrade El Idolo. So,
Idolo.
There was one spot that I really liked in this match where Andrade puts Cody in his future father-in-law, Ric Flair's figure 4. I thought that was pretty cool. That he was actually doing that move. So that FTR were hiding under the ring, apparently, for some reason. They got involved. Arn Anderson gets involved. They were awesome. El Idolo gets the win with the Hammerlock DDT. That's all fine and good. It makes Cody look a little weak to finish off the feud with Malachi Black, but whatever. Andrade's awesome. So then, to close out AEW Dynamite, we have the main event, Orange Cassidy versus Miro. Miro was, of course, inserted after Jon Moxley had to bow out of the Eliminator tournament. So this is a semifinal match to see who goes to take on Bryan Danielson in the finals. So yeah, Miro just destroyed Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy got in some offense, I guess, but it was
very
just
little.
Miro.
Yep.
So now Miro gets the win. So it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Miro at Full Gear oh, sweet Jeebus, that match is going to be fucking awesome.
So this is for the number one contendership, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what do we? I mean, we'll talk about predictions later, what we think, but between these two, between Miro and Brian, I mean, these guys obviously know each other. It's going to be a great match. What do we do here? As a company, if you're booking this, what do you do? I mean, I think
finish.
I mean, yeah, but we can talk about it later. But this is a hard book here. Either way it could go. I'm cool with either way it goes.
Me too, actually, which is weird. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'm not
later.
Right.
Primo's not on board. Bees. It's a little Rusty Development reference in there for you.
All right, so
moving on.
Was,
that's the end of Dynamite. Yeah, that's all I got.
And that's AEW Dynamite.
The only the other note I had for that was Matt Sydal is still awkward on the microphone, man.
He is. You think that after after 30 years, you think that he would
That's
be
the exact number I was going to say.
better.
Wow, somebody else got an old joke other than me.
Yep,
on
Matt
Sydal.
All
right, so Impact Wrestling. Matt Sydal. Yeah. So Impact Wrestling last week was they were still in Las Vegas. Matt Stryker, D'Lo Brown, your announcers for the show. The opener, Macklin versus Rohit Raju versus Laredo Kid versus Black Taurus. This is the number one contenders match for the X Division title. Laredo Kid ends up winning with a pin on Rohit Raju. Trey Miguel comes out. They face off. Macklin attacks both of them. They run off, and then they run off Macklin, and then they kind of stare at each other. So these are going to be some good matches. Miguel and Laredo, they're the same type of wrestler, and so those will be good matches. Next up, we got Ace Austin wearing a "I Beat Chris Sabin" shirt.
That was a pretty cool shirt.
In a promo with Madman Fulton. Next up, Violent by Design is out to cut a promo in the ring, talking about Rhino. They told him that his choices have repercussions, and if you quit Violent by Design, says Eric Young, there is repercussions if you quit, and you can never really quit, is what they say. But anyway,
you gotta be jumped out.
Yep, basically, right, yeah. So Eric Young basically says that he's back for Violence, and it starts tonight. And then a local
by design.
He starts tonight by design, right?
What, the Violence?
The Violence.
And then a local wrestler, Jay Vital, comes to the ring. The crowd knows who he is, so but EY just fucking destroys him, and a nasty pile driver finish, man. Because it's funny sometimes, when they take the pile driver and they just kind of fall over. But sometimes I love it when they pop out of it.
The spike and then
spike,
I like
and then
that
they kind of So he sold it really well. So that was the end of that. Next up, our boys, Good Brothers and Finn Juice come out. Juice Robinson still dressing like Macho Man, even though it's not Halloween anymore.
I hope he sticks with it.
Me too, man. Because
for a couple of months.
It's not full gimmick. It's like when he comes out, he does a little bit of the macho, and then he moves on through it. But the hair, he's got the hair that matches Macho's. You know what I mean? Kind of why
it looks like
it's over.
Like fried spaghetti and it's all poofy and stuff.
And super
like
thin.
a ferret's nest. Awesome.
My dad had the same
like
hair.
a Brillo pad.
Yes, but this was a great match. Awesome spots. They really gel together. You can tell they've wrestled each other a lot. But funny enough, they got invaded by the Bullet Club, so it's almost like you're watching New Japan here. And
never a bad thing.
So the Bullet Club, consisting of Chris Bay, El Phantasmo, and Hakaleo. They got this new gimmick now, man, where they're hitting everybody in the nuts.
Just hooving dicks.
Yeah, there's
when I saw that, I was like, they're hooving dicks.
They're just crotch rocking people, man. Anyway, so they hit everybody. Everybody's laying around. They're doing their thing, standing tall. El Fantasmo twerks his way out of there. So, all right. Next up, funny part of the match, guys. Johnny Swinger is trying to raise money to open a casino in Vegas since they're still there. So he's selling like pictures. Like there's a picture of like him on a horse, and he wanted like a ton of money for it. Just stupid stuff like that. So anyway, next week it's going to be Finn Juice versus Bullet Club. As a result of what happened in the attack. Then to finish up, we got two matches here. Madison Rayne versus Mickie James.
Hardcore country!
Mickie wins after many attempts to foil her win, but Caleb with a K tries to help her, but Mickie still ends up winning. Then she's standing tall, and then boom, we got a surprise. Mercedes Martinez, former WWE wrestler. She's been in the Mae Young Classic, shows up.
Just challenging Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like very
not long ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So she's out to confront Mickie, says that she's her next challenger at Turning Point, which is November the 20th. It's going to be on that Impact Plus thing again, so which means nothing will happen on the pay-per-view. Sure. And then Madman Fulton wins versus Sabin. I'm sorry, Madman Fulton versus Chris Sabin. Sabin wins on a roll-up, pretty quick match there. So, all right, so let's get to the main event here. Pretty cool. Moose, Morrissey, and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Edwards, Matt Cardona, and Josh Alexander. This is your six-man tag, thruple match, trios. What else do we call that these days? Anything else?
A tag team match, player.
Right. Perfect.
I think just thruples. Just the old thruple match.
Say those names once again, please.
Say the name of the match.
Minoru Suzuki.
Yep. W. Morrissey, which is
W.
Big
Morrissey
Cass.
against
And Moose.
And Moose
against Eddie Edwards, Matt Cardona, Josh Alexander.
I'm sorry, but that's one side.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, let's see what happens here. Six-man tag. It was really cool to see Minoru in Impact Wrestling. I'll have to say this is probably his last stop. Me and AJ was talking about it before he went back. So I think this might have been his last run in the Americas before he heads back. So hard shots throughout, back and forth, as you can figure a Minoru match is going to be. The match closes with everybody facing off. They did the classic. Everybody gets back in the ring, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then, one forearm starts the whole match, starts the whole fight once again. Morrissey kicks Eddie's teeth out. I'm pretty sure of it. Eddie, something went going across the ring, and it was white that came out of his mouth. So I'm assuming it might have been a tooth or maybe a tooth. Yeah, but
maybe he's just chewing some
chewing gum. Yeah,
it was a big boot, man. Yeah, it could have been gum, man. It could have been
probably a tooth.
But it was a big boot right before he power bombed him. And then that's it, man. 1, 2, 3. All three have their hands in the air as Impact goes off, and I enjoyed it. I do it. I don't critique Impact like as a lot of people do because I've watched a lot of shitty wrestling in my life. So a lot of people are like, I don't like it. I don't know. This was a good episode, man. They moved a lot of stories forward. They had somebody there, that wasn't normally there. So we had a little bit of fun with that. So, but I don't know, man. I think they're kind of starting to tick up here a little bit. It's getting more interesting. I'm interested to see what they do with Moose. Moose and Morrissey are going to have a blow off soon enough. So, Moose. Yeah. So let's end that. Impact Wrestling Primo is next up with Smacking It Down.
Smacking it down. Friday night smacking it down. That's right. I just want to say something real quick that came to my head just now that I was thinking about earlier today because I was watching. It was an old Royal Rumble clip today. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it being a historic, one of the historic moments. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, and in 2 months, 2 months, we'll be at Royal Rumble and we could witness something that can go in the books forever.
Hell yeah,
but
WWE really has to do some things. They better do some just for our benefit. They
just because the marks are going to be there.
Yes,
somebody that got released is going to be in that Rumble probably.
Some awesome return.
Yep.
Wow. It's going to be Nia Jax
as the third member of Demolition.
Bearcat.
All right, so smacking it down.
I wish I had that. So I'm about to get one for old Bearcat there.
Oh man. So, show opener, we got the Tribal Chief returning to Friday Night SmackDown to open up the show. As the Bloodline is on their way to the ring, we are reminded of the New Day's victory last week.
We the ones.
We are the ones, that's right. Roman says he was on vacation last week, but don't worry, he's here now. So then he says, I actually wrote this down and quoted it. So, tiny little no-name town, acknowledge me.
Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah,
tiny little no-name town.
Tiny little no-name town, acknowledge me.
Oh, that was great,
so
wasn't
awesome.
It says, and then he takes responsibility for getting Brock suspended and fined. Then he makes Paul tell them what happened last week and who won the tag team match. He's like, Paul, what happened last week? And Paul's like, but my Tribal Chief, but he's like trying to make up some bullshit. And he's like, Paul, what happened? And then he had to tell on the Usos. And the Usos looking at Paul like, this motherfucker. So I said, like the boss that he is, he asked the Usos, like he's their dad, who got pinned?
Yeah.
And both the Usos point at each other. like wasn't me, Us. And then find it, they like the two brothers that are in trouble. They point out each other, but Jimmy is found out. So Roman tells him, he's like, how are we going to fix it? Jimmy says he's going to be the one to take down King Woods. He's going to make him acknowledge the Tribal Chief. Autocorrect fucked me there. It says Tribal Chris.
That's not the same thing at all.
The New Day interrupts, though, and Sir Kofi introduces King Woods. I am loving
New Day.
Sir Kofi and King Woods. I loved the New Day before this, and it's comedic gold. I love it.
Me too. They're gonna knock this out of the park.
Woods says it looks like they forgot his table. He says, I thought when you're the king around here, you get to sit at the head of the table. Matter of fact, you never stop talking about the table. Just in case you forget you're supposed to be at the head of the table, you make a shirt where it says head of the table. And then and I put, by the way, I love Xavier Woods' king outfit.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
It is awesome.
He's wearing the cape on the side,
it's on the side. He's got the jacket, the regal jacket.
What does he call his wand? What is that thing? The scepter?
It is a scepter. But I don't. King Woods proposes a challenge. If Jimmy is able to defeat him, then he has no problem acknowledging Roman. But if King Woods wins, then Jimmy will have to bend the knee. I really loved that.
Yep,
so,
I love that phrasing too. Bend the knee.
Jimmy and Jay start talking shit and saying they don't bend the knee to nobody. Roman holds out his hand. So Roman does this thing where he holds out his hand. So where Paul usually gives him the mic, he holds out his hand, and Jay is just looking at him because he had the microphone. He's like, "What is he doing?" And Paul starts freaking out because they're not getting the microphone fast enough. He yanks the microphone out of Jay's hand and puts it in Roman's hand. He's like, "Look!" He puts the hand out. You put the mic in his hand.
Right? Yeah.
So
that's funny.
So Roman simply says the Bloodline accepts with no hesitation. I also I love that they were calling Jimmy. They're calling Jiminy Uso.
Yeah, Jiminy Uso.
Jiminy Uso. And Sir Kofi has started curling his mustache also.
Yeah. That was my favorite part of the whole entire thing, the curly mustache.
You can tell he's thinking of some things to do, man.
Yeah, there's it's just igniting their creative minds. It's so good.
I want to know how much of this Kofi, Xavier, and the Usos came up with on their own with no input whatsoever from anyone else. I want to know, because I guarantee you it had to have been most of them. Like most of it came up with like these 5, well, plus Paul Heyman. And it was great. Like, this is the best thing that's happened on SmackDown in months.
That's why, like, I immediately texted you guys. I was like, that first segment was gold.
Yeah.
And it was.
So
it was
good.
great.
So good.
Later on in the night, they pan to the Tribal Chief's locker room. Roman says he takes 1 week off, and it all goes to shit, is basically what he says. He says 1 week off, and SmackDown sucks. It's almost as bad as Raw. That's what he said.
What a dick line.
Almost.
So great. Almost as bad as Raw.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
amazing.
Moving forward, we hit backstage. Ridge Holland says he's excited to meet his idol, Sheamus.
It's a weird idol.
Well, Ridge Holland's Irish, so...
He
says they used to sit in the pub and watch Sheamus on TV and cheer him on and all this stuff. So
but
basically...
Finn Balor's right there. He's Irish.
Finn Balor's on Raw.
Rich Holland, you're a fool.
Shotzi gives a promo backstage about coming after Sasha Banks, but all I could do was stare at her choker that says "Daddy."
Yeah, that was a bad promo.
Yeah.
Los
Lotharios. So Los Lotharios is Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. They defeat the odd coupling of Cesaro and Mansoor.
That was a bit. Oh,
I
know.
It was clearly just a match to get over Los Lotharios, which, by the way, means like seductive male, like they're like Casanovas. Yeah.
Rico Suaves?
Yeah.
By the way, really quick, speaking of Cesaro, I forgot to mention this in my John Mox review, but throughout the book, he writes like little blurbs that say jokes that Claudio told me. So, apparently, Cesaro is like the king of like bad dad jokes. And there's like 100 of them in the book, and everyone made me laugh because I knew they were coming from Cesaro.
That's awesome.
This is great.
So, Drew McIntyre has another open challenge.
What the fuck?
And while
with nothing on the line again.
While he's coming out, he has his sword. Go ahead, Dre.
I was just going to say, that's how you start a feud without starting a feud. Open challenge.
Open challenge. What do we win? Nothing.
But every week it's just another like fly zippy guy, and so as he's coming out, he has Angela the sword, and Pat McAfee said there's a kid clapping ringside and cheering for Drew McIntyre. Pat McAfee says that kid clapping weighs less than that sword.
Right? Yeah.
And so,
thanks, Pat.
Yeah. Like he just had to. Oh, another thing Pat did at the beginning of the show when it opened up, he said, "We're back on Fox. Baseball sucks."
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. They said it again. Yeah. Baseball sucks. He cracked me up, man. I was laughing as that went.
And then he's from he's part of Indiana, so he was totally pro Indiana the whole show.
Oh yeah.
And then so his Drew McIntyre's open challenge is answered by Ricochet, and they actually had a pretty good match. But most of it was Ricochet getting absolutely ragdolled.
Yep.
But, Ricochet makes it look crazy.
I did like the spot where Ricochet goes for a moonsault and... Shit, I just drew a blank. What happens? Drew McIntyre. There we go. Never mind. Just cut this.
So Drew McIntyre wins, of course, is what I wrote. Moving on to the final segment. Before the main event match, Roman makes it clear to Jimmy Uso that he's not coming out there to help. Basically, he's like, how many times do you expect me to clean up your mess? And I said, I like King Wood's new music. He has his own solo music out for his King gimmick. It's pretty cool. King Woods wins by grabbing the trunks, and Jimmy has to bend the knee. As Jimmy is taking his time bending the knee, Roman attacks from behind and Superman punches the crown right off King Woods. Literally. Then the Bloodline mauls the New Day and tries to take out Sir Kofi's leg. They injure his spot, where they hold him, and then one of the Usos jumps up and just like kicks the back of their knee out, and it looks painful. Anyway, they take out Kofi's knee, and I said my final line for SmackDown was, I see where this is going now with the Survivor Series build-up. they're taking out New Day. So I mean, I like that. I like that they're actually doing a story instead of, hey, you guys are going to fight at Survivor Series. So obviously, right now we're being, the wool's being pulled over our eyes on Raw with Big E and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, everything going on over there. But it's clearly going to all come together because Big E is going to come. He's big bro to the other two and going to come, help them fight their battle.
Right. Yep.
I hope so. Instead of just a one-on-one with Big E versus Roman, I don't want that match at all.
Right. And that's SmackDown. Smackity down.
Yep. Pretty, that was a really hot opener. I enjoyed that too. So, AJ, Rampage was not far from us last Friday.
Rampage,
St. Louis, Missouri.
Rampage was in St. Louis.
The Lou.
Missouri. It'll be a cold day in hell before I recognize Missouri.
That's the Illinois Missouri thing, isn't it?
Missouri's stupid. Sorry for the one person in Missouri who's listening to us right now.
That's where we're going in 2 months for the Rumble.
Yes.
I apologize pre-Rumble.
We're going to get jumped on the way to the Rumble.
We love St. Louis, just not AJ.
I love St. Louis. St. Louis is awesome.
Just
I don't count it as a part of Missouri.
It's kind of not.
No, it's like its own little thing.
It's on the border, yeah.
It's its own thing. Okay, so AEW Rampage from St. Louis, Missouri, kicks off with Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens. I don't have much written for this match except for Max Caster annoys me to tears.
That was a pretty good line, though. That was a pretty good line.
Oh, when he talks about your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't know that John Laurinaitis was Brie and Nikki's dad. Is that?
Yeah. He married their mom. Yeah.
He married their mom.
Oh,
gosh! Don't you watch Total Bellas? Jeez.
I mean, I did, but I must have recorded over it with old episodes of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Well, of course.
Before I had a chance to watch it.
Clearly.
Yeah. So when Bryan Danielson grabs Anthony Bowens' arms and was like doing his face stomp, like out loud, I actually went, yeah, you stomped that turd's face for no reason whatsoever. There is nothing wrong with Anthony Bowens.
Stomp that turd.
He's actually a really good athlete. But of course, Bryan Danielson gets the win with the lapel lock, and then Max Caster. I know you guys are kind of Max Caster fans. I fucking hate Max Caster.
I find him annoying.
I find him go away. He has go away heat with me. I hate him.
I find him annoying, but that's his job. He's doing a good job at his job. If I find him annoying, that's what he's going for.
Well, see, I like to compare him to Ricky Starks because Ricky Starks annoys the shit out of me.
I like him,
but see, I love Ricky Starks. Whereas Max Caster, I just want him to go away. I want Max Caster to stop doing his little rap thing. I want him to I can't stand him.
In fact, Ricky Starks has my favorite title pose. I love it. I love that so much.
I can't.
Back in the day when Jeff Hardy used to have the title too, he would have the title and he'd do the flip.
Look at it. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Ricky Starks is awesome. Max Caster is balls. Up next we have
just straight balls.
He's a sack of nuts. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston cut promos on each other.
Yeah, they did.
So
you're a bum. You're a bum.
This is one of the
sack of nuts.
Yeah, it's just a sack of nuts. Why did you just have a sack of nuts right next to your computer? Do you have a drawer filled with sacks filled with nuts?
No, I mean, these are from Buc-ee's, though, so.
Oh, they're from Buc-ee's. It makes sense that they're right next to your computer.
Any of my fans from Texas will know what that means.
If it had been, a sack of Planters, I would have been like, what?
Regular shit.
But it's Buc-ee's.
Nuts are just, or different. The Bucky's nuts.
Not those stupid shit hobo nuts. These are Bucky nuts, goddammit. Oh, Bucky nuts. That's our next t-shirt. Oh my god. I don't even know what we're doing. I'm dying.
We're getting past the Max Caster.
Oh, yes. Okay, so up next is CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. No, not versus. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston cut promos, and it's fucking awesome. Although one thing about what Eddie said annoyed me a little bit, and it was that he said that Punk always judged him in the indies, and I didn't think that was a very... Like, because these two promos were very realistic, and that just kind of like threw me out of it a little bit, because obviously CM Punk would never judge anyone who comes up through the indies.
Yeah.
And so that line kind of bothered me a little bit, but the rest of it was fucking, they knocked it out of the park.
That's what I mean. These two, Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, they both, the way they give any promo, all their promos are like real life shit.
Yes, so, and the fact that they were cutting it on each other, fucking amazing. This was fantastic. This is the best promo Eddie Kingston's ever given. CM Punk always has best promos, so you can't say this is the best promo CM Punk's ever getting. But so I also liked how they started off like at opposite corners of the ring, and as they talked, they kept getting like closer and closer together. Until finally, CM Punk was trying to leave the ring, and Eddie Kingston was like, "Why don't you just, disappear for another 7 years?" And that's when CM Punk got back in and like headbutted him and started an awesome brawl, and everyone came out to pull him apart. And this match is going to be so fucking cool. Cannot wait for this. This is my most anticipated match for Full Gear. So great segment, loved it. Go watch it. Up next, TBS Women's Championship match, the Bunny versus Red Velvet. Velvet gets the win while Jade Cargill watches on. Sure.
Yep. They have that previous beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it made sense for them to wrestle each other. So, yeah.
Sure. It was fine. Got its job done. And then up next, it was Adam Cole versus John Silver, who was hilarious in his little...
Johnny Hungy! Johnny Hungy! I love Johnny Hungy.
He's so fucking funny.
When he poses, man, he's got the biggest arms for a guy probably under 6 feet I've ever seen.
It's weird. He reminds me a lot of Eddie Guerrero, like towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
When Eddie Guerrero was just 2 arms and he looked like a kindergartner's drawing of a person, only with arms and a head and legs, and that was it. So it's Adam Cole versus John Silver, and John Silver looked fantastic against Adam Cole. I honestly thought that he might win a couple of times, but of course he doesn't. Adam Cole, gets the win. John Silver was hilarious. He really got himself over during this match and the segment beforehand. I did like the spot where the Young Bucks came in and kissed the 2 cheeks while Silver was in the camel clutch, and that ends AEW Rampage. Moving on.
AJ Rampage.
Quote the Rampage.
Finito.
Nevermore.
Rampage.
Very good. All right, let's get to Monday Night Raw, Primo, in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville,
Kentucky, home of Muhammad Ali, Slugger Museum, Churchill Downs.
So you almost have to sound like a turkey
Iron
when
Reed.
you say Louisville. See? People from Louisville will be like, yes, I understood what you said.
People from Louisville would be mad at you for saying Louisville.
Yeah, they would.
I'm such a northerner.
We're not from there.
All right, so the show
Louisville.
The show opens up with Kevin Owens trying to apologize to Big E and try to make him believe that it was an accident after all. Last week, whenever he hit him, whenever Seth Rollins interfered. But at this point, Big E's still not having it. Seth Rollins arrives, dancing his way to the ring once again. He says he is a visionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins, and he is your next WWE champion. A "you look stupid" chant breaks out.
Yes.
Les champions.
And he says, right, like you morons here in Louisville know anything about passion.
Yeah. I love this
Louisville.
line, man. I wrote that down. I love this line. That was great.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that.
He says we need to get to the bottom of who exactly is Kevin Owens. Is he a hero or a snake? He says that for as long as he's known Kevin Owens, you can clearly count on one thing, and that is that he'll stab you in the back. Kevin Owens eventually has had enough and comes out to fight Rollins, but Seth Rollins is able to narrowly escape. Moving on, we have Riddle and Randy Orton talking about how Riddle was sticking his nose where it didn't belong last week with Omos and the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Randy Orton makes it clear that he doesn't care about the Street Profits. Riddle goes, ouch. And then he says, we can talk about that one later, but the Street Profits are right behind you.
Right.
And Randy turns around, he's like, I stand by everything I just said, basically.
Randy was great.
But Riddle goes, what's up, guys? Did you hear everything Randy just said about you?
Right. What did he say, too? He said, you guys know I already have and want the smoke.
Yeah, that's
so...
right. Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
He does like a little, like, hang loose, like, yeah, We know you're talking about weed.
So he tells the Profits that basically, if you have a vendetta against Omos, then you're on your own because they have an 8-man tag match to get to, which is Street Profits and RK Bro versus Dirty Dogs, AJ and Omos. Dirty Dogs, AJ and Omos are victorious after the whole match breaks down and Omos goes crazy, attacks everybody. After the match, though, Randy and Riddle were able to get up the entrance ramp, and he's like, what did I tell you, about like getting involved, basically. But they did escape this time without getting destroyed by Omos. Moving forward, I thought this segment was kind of funny, but moving forward, the Mysterios arrived to the ring for a meeting with Adam Pearce. Adam talks about Survivor Series. Then he talks about being embarrassed about the roster for Team Raw. Every member of Team Raw is a former WWE champion except for you, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
He says that Dominic is still on the roster as of now, unless he loses to this guy, which this guy ends up being the almighty Bobby Lashley with the returning MVP at his side.
Also, really quick, did you also notice that everyone on Raw's team 3 weeks ago was on SmackDown?
Yes. Yeah.
What the fuck is that about?
Yeah. So they stacked Raw, but so he has to go against Bobby Lashley to keep his place on the team. Otherwise, Bobby Lashley gets his spot on the team. Bobby Lashley obviously wins against Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah,
and takes his place on Team Raw. The current 5-on-5 Survivor Series teams are as follows. Team Raw is Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins. How will they ever coexist? And SmackDown, Team SmackDown is Drew McIntyre, King Woods, Happy Corbin, Sami Zayn, and the charismatic Enigma Jeff Hardy.
So on paper, this should also be a one-sided match.
Right. Well, I mean, Team Raw's
team
is pretty badass.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean,
but Team SmackDown's team has
pretty good.
Happy Corbin.
Yes, Happy Corbin. It has the Scottish psychopath or whatever they call him, Drew McIntyre.
Happy
has
Corbin.
the
Happy McIntyre.
newly crowned King Woods. The conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn. So there's going to be a pop whenever Sami and KO and Kevin get in the ring.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And they're going to get in. They're going to do the thing where they just start beating the shit out of each other.
Lock up and swing away.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving forward, Liv Morgan wins the match that she was in against a bunch of other women superstars and becomes the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship.
Sure.
That's
She's pretty.
All that I have on that match.
Same.
But before the main event,
that's all I remember about it.
Seth Rollins says that last week was a plan between him and Kevin. So Biggie had come out to the ring to basically spectate Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens' main event match. And before the match took place, Seth Rollins he's like, I got something to get off my chest. I've been lying too. Actually, me and KO, we were in collusion and we basically planning the whole thing. And so last week was a plan between him and Kevin Owens. Rollins tells Big E to trust the devil you know, not the devil you don't. Basically, he's like, you know, I'm a dick.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens makes a beeline to the ring because he's had enough. In the main event, though, Kevin Owens gets counted out. And when the reason he gets counted out is because he's chasing Seth Rollins all around the ring.
Right.
They go to where Big E was sitting by the commentator table, and Big E's just kind of like standing there with his championship. He's like spectating from 2 feet away. And he's just kind of like, yeah, you guys are having a good match. Yeah. and then Seth Rollins, I guess, all of a sudden realizes the 10 count's about to be up, and he heads to the ring. And then Kevin Owens like, oh shit, I gotta head to the ring too. But accidentally, Big E gets in the way, and Kevin Owens has to like go around him and gets counted out. So that was interesting.
Yeah, like he held him up. He was a speed bump.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, that causes Kevin that, and in conjunction with the fact that nobody on Raw trusted Kevin all night. He tried all night to see if anybody would be on his side, to say he's a good guy, and everybody was like, "You kind of fucked us all over." So basically, all that led up to him turning once again to his heel self. He stomps Big E's face in and attacks. Kevin Owens absolutely snaps, embraces the dark. That's why I wrote he embraces the dark side once again. He continues to attack Big E, as Raw goes off the air.
He's such a better heel anyway.
He is. I like this. I like when he's a heel. So
yeah, my 2 notes was the fisherman suplex off the top was
always
awesome.
The best. I love it when he does that.
Those are cool, man. And then this is the KO that I love, the mean, nasty heel. That's what I like.
He's
Very
the best
nice.
version.
Very nice. Thank you, Primo, for that.
Yes, sir.
Let me finish up here with NXT 2.0, and we'll get to our dropkick discussion of the week. Toxic Attraction comes out, NXT 2.0, still in Orlando. They come out to kick off the show versus Carter and Kathy Catanzaro.
Catanzaro.
Yeah.
Casey Catanzaro, yeah.
Casey Catanzaro.
Yep. GG ends up getting the win as Toxic stays on top. Next up, Kaylee Ray beats Saray, which we haven't seen her in a while. So Kaylee Ray comes out and she kind of storms by Toxic Attraction on the way to the ring. So she's, I guess, foreshadowing a feud there later on. Next up, the Creed brothers versus Kashida, and I can't never remember the guy's name. He wears the jackets to the ring.
Ikemen
jacket
Jiro.
time. There you go. They wrestle. The Creed brothers end up getting the win and then Odyssey Jones shows up. Still doesn't have new gear, but still shows up to help Kashida and the jacket guy. All right.
You know that guy wears the shirts.
He wears the shirt.
I like it. Like when his music hits, it says it's jacket time. So Raquel Gonzalez shows up on her motorcycle. She tells Mandy that she will deal with her later as she rides into the arena. Says that she wants Dakota Kai. Well, she shows up, but then she gets attacked by Cora Jade, who attacked Dakota Kai attacked a while back. So looks like they're going to have a little falling out. So next up, we get to another Andrade Chase segment, which was my favorite part of NXT right now.
Yeah.
Well, and as I'm loving that for sure.
Andrade Chase U.
Andrade Chase U. Yep. Cameron Grimes comes out. He is wrestling Roof Fang, and as he's coming to the ring, the crowd is chanting "To the Moon."
To the moon.
Which is really cool. So Cameron wins with a Cayman Stomp, and then Duke Hudson comes out and challenges Grimes to a poker showdown next week. So He's pissed about Cameron beating him. So they're going to have another poker match next week, which I'm pretty sure will not end up being poker. So next up, triple threat match. We got ourselves a thruple. The Solo Sikoa versus Grayson Waller versus L.A. Knight.
Let me talk to you.
My boy is he's taking the pin here from Solo, who does a big frog splash off the top rope.
Solo
Then
Sikoa.
Next out,
they're strapping the rocket ship to him.
Yes, they are. It kind of looks like it that way. At least here to start. They're calling him like the street champion already, something like that. So grab them kicks. So next out is La Madrina, who beats a talent enhancement person for a squash match. Electra Lopez, her name. We're all big fans of her here on the show. So she calls out Zion Quinn. So Zion Quinn comes out. He turns down an offer to be in El Legado Fantasma, which, they kind of, say, you don't turn down, an offer. So anyway,
it's once in a lifetime opportunity, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So they try to attack him. He's, he fights them all off, and then him and Electra kind of have an embrace, kind of like maybe a little some Cupid, some maybe hearts fluttering action.
Oh man, there's a new index.
Yeah, it might be the new index. So next up was the announcement, December the 5th, Sunday, December the 5th, NXT War Games, guys, coming back.
I love War Games.
It doesn't say TakeOver this time, just War Games, NXT War Games.
Are they keeping the TakeOver moniker for their pay-per-views?
Yeah. I don't think it said TakeOver for Halloween Havoc either.
No, it didn't. It didn't. All right, so let's get to the main event. Pete Dunne versus Carmelo Hayes. A pretty good match. Carmelo got distracted by Gargano and Loomis. Pete ends up winning with the bitter end. Like I said, Carmelo, he's a good athlete in that stuff. Maybe I just don't get him yet. But, I'm just not sold on him yet. But I understand they're trying to make new stars there. So, but I'm sure I'll come around on him. But so that's how NXT ended, and that is the review of what happened since we've talked to you last here in the world of wrestling. So,
I'm still not sold on the new NXT.
So, do you think NXT 2.0 will ever go on the road?
It doesn't.
I don't think
like
so.
It to me.
No, it didn't look like it, does it?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to invest and just stay there. So
because even NXT was going like they had like NXT Takeover Brooklyn and all those.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
They're all going to be in that shitty little arena.
All right, let's get to the dropkick discussion of the week, boys. This week we are discussing the Saturday night's main event, as we've been discussing here the month of November. Tonight's episode was episode number 12 in season number 3. This one comes to you October the 3rd, 1987, Hershey, Pennsylvania. The Hershey Park Arena is actually where it's at. About 9,000 people there. This ended up being one of the biggest Saturday night main events there ever was because of what happened kind of throughout the show, and then the famous handshake and promo at the end. So me and the boys went back. We watched this whole Saturday night's main event, and we're going to bring it to you. And then once we get to the end of the show, I'm going to play the audio of the famous Macho versus Hulk Hogan. Yeah, mega powers, brother. Yeah. All right, so let's get this thing started off here. Let me give you a few little notes here real quick. Okay, so where we were in wrestling. Mania 3, Hogan, Andrade, that just happened in March. So we're in October in 87. That just happened in March. King of the Ring just happened in September. Now, Macho Man won that King of the Ring, but he did not become the Macho King until 1989. The next
weird.
King gimmick around this time was Harley Race. So we were just around there. And the King of the Ring tournament, it was televised as a house show. So they didn't even think this was going to even be a thing back then. Yeah, so and then right after this pay-per-view was, this Saturday night's main event was leading up to this the very first Survivor Series. the very next month. You remember Hogan's team versus Andrade's team. The very first Survivor Series. So let's dive into this thing as we get started here with October 3rd, 1987. Primo is going to walk us through this one right off the bat. We got these great interviews, Primo. We got the logos going on in the back. AJ, this was nostalgia feel right off the bat with these wrestlers talking about their matches here.
I'm going to argue with you about that great interview part to start off the show.
Well, they weren't great. They were cheesy. That's what
they were honky tonk.
Yeah. Honky. We hated him, but he was good.
Honky and hokey, that's for sure. So let's get to that. We opened up the show with Honky Tonk saying that he's going to shake, rattle, and roll all over the Macho Man to retain his IC championship. He's there with Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. He is also going to steal. Oh, that's what he said. He said, I'm going to shake, rattle, and roll all over the Macho Man to retain his IC championship. And then he's going to steal his woman.
Because she likes
kidnap. Is he going to kidnap her? Was that his plan?
She likes the way I walk.
She likes the way I walk. I love Jimmy Hart during this because he was just like the entire time. Just
did you guys see the Sika promo before this?
Yeah. It was actually after this.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah. So we switch over to Macho Man saying Honky Tonk. The Honky Tonk Man has a big. You got a big mouth, brother, and I'm gonna shut it. So and then we move over. So this just keeps going. Then we move over to Bobby Heenan and King Kong Bundy. They're talking about taking on Paul Orndorff.
He looks like an egg, like an actual egg.
He looks like the Humpty Dumpty. Next up, we got Mr. Fuji introducing Sika, saying he'll eat anything as he is literally biting the feathers off of a chicken.
That's Roman's dad, right? Sika?
Yeah,
that's Roman's dad.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Then Hulk gives a hulked up response to Sika right before the show officially begins. That's our beginning, guys. We got all these interviews starting up. What y'all think about those?
I love those. I love the character, the cartoon character behind
right.
Him. Sika was like his big head.
All I could think was, man, Kashida is having a field day with this.
Oh my god. I loved all of these, even the Honky Tonk Man, because I hate him so much. But then King Kong Bundy,
so good,
an egg, and Hulk Hogan coked out of his mind, and
Jimmy Hart looking so young.
Macho Man, danger zone.
Yeah, you're the danger zone.
the danger zone. And then, wait, is this where he gets mad at he gets mad at Mean Gene, and he leaves? And then he comes back in and yells again. That was so awesome.
That's one thing I wrote down it later. But Mean Gene through this whole show is just hilarious because his facial expressions sometimes he's just like, what the fuck is going on?
I always like when he gets in between wrestlers. Let me get in here.
Mean Gene was an absolute pro during all this.
Our show officially opens up. We're at the Hershey Park Arena. Vince says that they have no less than 3 WWF championships on the line, and Bobby Heenan doesn't manage any of those title holders.
Right. Yep.
They go on to mention that Honky Tonk Man has decided to make his entrance first, even though he is the champion.
Oh.
Danger zone.
Couple of things about this opening. One, did you guys see, in the title sequence, King Kong Bundy body slams a little person? I thought it was a kid at first. I had to go back.
Yeah. They were involved in wrestling a lot back then. He had a match.
My God.
One of the WrestleManias where it was him and some little people versus somebody else and some little people. Yeah. Yep. They were involved a lot back then.
80s. Also, no Jesse Ventura. That kind of bummed me out a little bit.
The body.
Nobody.
So, Honky Tonk Man arrives to the ring, flanked by Jimmy Hart. Honky Tonk Man clearly cannot play that guitar.
Nope.
Macho Man, they flip over to Macho Man. He says, Honky Tonk Man doesn't know the difference between a guitar string and a G string, brother.
That was good. I like that a lot.
Danger zone, yeah.
Danger Zone, yeah.
Okay, this is when he leaves and then comes back.
This is when he leaves.
Back.
Yeah.
Danger Zone.
He makes
also yells at
he makes his
Mickie.
entrance with Miss Elizabeth. Then this whole match. So it's obviously the whole match is between freaking Honky Tonk Man and Randy Savage, but on the commentator side of it, the whole match, Bobby Heenan is just dogging on Elizabeth being the valet.
Yeah.
Saying he said she belongs at home whipping up some breakfast, not near a wrestling ring.
That didn't age well.
Not at all.
Nope. Whoops.
Jimmy Hart keeps interfering, and Randy Savage finally gets his hands on Jimmy Hart to see him to stop that. Hart Foundation eventually comes out to check on, because, basically Randy Savage decks Jimmy Hart, and he lays out like a referee.
Oh, yeah, he takes a nap.
The Hart Foundation comes out, and they're all pink tights, and they come to check on Jimmy Hart, and then they carry him back to the back. Honky Tonk Man goes with him to the back. This part I thought was so weird.
I did too.
Honky Tonk goes to the back. He goes to the back with the Hart Foundation and Jimmy Hart. But Randy's like, "I'll wait here for you." Randy Savage. Yeah, he's like, I'll wait in the ring. And they go to commercial, and they come back, and here they come. There they come. They're coming back to the ring now.
Shouldn't the ref be like, now I'm going to start counting. Yeah, you can wait all you want.
It's like,
he gets a 10 count.
Fuck the 10 count. So.
Oh, my God. It was so weird. But the ref was like, "Oh, you said okay."
Oh, he said he'll be right back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They're gonna carry a napping Jimmy Hart to the back.
Time out.
Yeah. Honky's got to take a shit. Okay, cool. All right. So basically, they come back. Macho Man gets back to kicking. He gets right back to kicking Honky Tonk Man's butt. Like he was beating him up beforehand, and then he Honky Tonk Man gets back after the commercial break, and Randy Savage just resumes whooping his ass. Savage eventually gets thrown out to the outside, and Hart Foundation lays a beat down as Honky Tonk Man distracts the ref. Randy Savage is able to turn things around, though, and gets his trademark elbow off as he goes for the pin. Hart Foundation breaks up the pinfall, and the match ends up ending in DQ. So this is when the big moment happens, the initial big moment. Mm-hmm. After the match, Randy Savage continues to get beat down by the Hart Foundation and Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man goes to smash the guitar over Macho Man, and Elizabeth steps in the way to protect him. She sacrifices herself. Honky Tonk Man, he literally pushes her.
Yeah.
He shoved the shit out of her to the mat and pushes her, and she goes to the ground. And she runs.
Big man. I don't think anybody's touched Elizabeth up until this point.
Yeah, and she runs to the back.
No. Yeah.
So she runs to the back like, oh shit, what's she doing? Honky Tonk Man grabs the guitar. He resumes the attack, and he actually does smash the guitar on Randy Savage's head.
Ooh.
Now that guitar
was real.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's probably before they started gimmicking
that thing looked solid.
You could tell he wanted to lay it in, make it look good, but not too hard. He was kind of.
It didn't break. It because when like Jared or something does it, like it explodes.
It shatters. Yeah.
This just makes a guitar like a macho shaped hole. Ooh, it was nasty.
Yeah, it was. It looked bad. And afterwards, Randy Savage just kind of laid there for a second. Rightfully so. Elizabeth comes back out, though, with none other than Hulk Hogan. He gets in the ring, and the numbers are almost too much, but Hogan and Savage are able to get the upper hand. Hogan and Savage then have a stare down, like, oh, shit, we just fought them off, but now it's me and you in the same ring? What is going on? Hogan and Macho Man stare down, and Macho Man extends his hand for a handshake and a show of gratitude. Because Hogan just saved his ass. The two shake hands right there and seem to form a mega powerful alliance. Next up. So that's what we have there. That's how we end that first segment. Next match is Sika.
Oh, wait, I got some notes about that one.
Oh, yeah. Y'all go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, Liz holds the ropes for Macho. Still funny to me. Like, here it is, this beautiful woman, and she's holding the ropes for the Macho Man. Like, was part of the gimmick, man. Love that touch. The cops still
coming
to the ring with the wrestlers. It's nuts.
Fuck yeah.
This was a classic match here, man. It felt like a big deal. Like kind of, I mean, the place was full. I always like looking at the crowd, my last two notes was I love the shot across the ring of Macho's elbow, like from behind from behind who he's dropping it on. Just a thing of beauty, man. Like those were just
yeah.
Beauty in the air of like as pretty as an elbow can be, man. That's what Macho did. Classic Macho Hogan there at the end. I remember this one from '87. I remember watching it as like one of the really first Saturday Night Smackdown events that I remember was because of the handshake. So nice.
So only a couple of notes that I have for this match is so. After Jimmy Hart gets knocked out, he was doing some great heel work. Like he was being like super annoying and like he kept interfering. And I wanted to be like, he's so annoying.
Like he kept on.
Yes, like every time, like the ref did just not want to DQ anyone in this match. So then, as the match goes on, like Honky Tonk's fluffy sideburns just keep getting fluffier and fluffier, and it kept making me laugh. Vince annoyed the crap out of me on commentary because every time that there was a pinfall, he'd be like, time for wait, hold on, it's young Vince. Time for a new champion. We got a new champion. Here comes a new champion. It's like, shut the fuck up and let the match go, you stupid idiot. Also, there's great heel work by Honky Tonk because he actually holds the ref's attention while Macho is getting beat down outside the ring. Like he actually like almost physically holds the ref to like watch him. And yeah, that guitar smash was gross. That's a real guitar, which you're right, Honky Tonk cannot play at all. Like he's like
he's doing it to his entrance, but he's like, first of all, he's acting like it's an electric guitar. It's an acoustic.
It's an acoustic. Oh, he's awful, just awful. But yeah, it was fun. Then Hogan takes an ice age. Like I like how when Hogan walks out, he's like looking around, like, "Ooh, what's going on, brother?"
He's like, "Oh, what did you call me out here for, Elizabeth? What is even happening?"
Yeah,
and then he looks at the ring. He's like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about now." Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, I just usually go any direction that somebody asks me to go.
So next up was Hogan Sika.
Yes, sir. So next up,
Nice.
we have Sika. But first, they go to the earlier interview of Mr. Fuji talking about how much of a savage Sika is, and he gives a very graphic description of Sika eating chicken.
Eating the chicken.
Like he would not stop going into detail.
No. Oh my god.
And then Hogan, they flip over to Hogan giving a hulked up talk about being the we're in the jungle. You got into the jungle with me now, Sika. He said that so many times. Yeah. When you're in the jungle with the Hulkster and the Hulkamaniacs, brother, we're in the jungle. So
I wrote that. Apparently Hogan has studied Sika in the wild because he kept talking about it.
That's what I wrote. Sounded like he was just talking a bunch of gibberish about the jungle and lost me. Like, obviously it worked. Like, it was good. Like, it was like I knew what he was trying to do, and it got the point across. But I was just like, what the words that he actually said? I was like, it was real funny. So we had the actual match. Hogan makes his entrance to the delight of all the Hulkamaniacs in attendance. Mr. Fuji interferes a few times at the start of the match. Sika headbutts. Oh yeah. Sika, like, he gets frustrated and he headbutts the ring apron area. I put, he must not know it's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah, no, doesn't know. But he's also
a wild Samoan.
Yes, a wild savage. So headbutting makes him stronger. Apparently.
Yeah, that's true. Hogan. So at one point Hogan does this wind up punch, right? And I wrote, Hogan's wind up punch is exactly how my little brother used to fight when we were kids. Yeah, exactly. Sika has to adjust his pants a lot. So good.
Yes.
Sika has Hogan in trouble with a titty twister.
Oh my God, I wrote that exactly.
But Hogan is able to make a comeback. He starts making he's hulking up. He's able to hit the moves of Doom and win the match. After the match, Hogan hits his usual poses to get all the Hulkamaniacs super excited.
So for this match, they keep talking, like the brain keeps talking about chicken during the match. He says that Hogan looks like a chicken, and like because he has yellow and that's like chicken colors, and there's red, and so apparently this whole entire match is about chicken and no selling because Hogan just doesn't sell at all. He does a splash, which was weird looking, seeing Hulk Hogan do a splash, and then I just wrote Sika grabs a boob. For like 8 minutes, he just
for a long time, yeah. My notes on this was Hogan looked like leather already by this time. And then my other question was, who was Kimchi? Did we ever figure out who Kimchi was? It's like
no idea.
Kayfabe, like did somebody play him? Like I don't know, man. Like it was one that's kind of fell under the radar. Watching Sika though, he was agile, scary. A perfect heel for a face like Hogan. Like he was.
Yeah, like he was clearly a villain.
Right. Yeah. Wild Samoan. They had that crazy look.
Like you're kind of scared of him.
Yep. My last two notes was the atomic drop needs to be brought back because I've seen that a lot in this match, and the atomic drop. And then jump over the rope. That one's a classic. And then, of course, we had to see Hogan pose at the end. So,
he posed at the end.
Yeah.
So go ahead. AJ.
So, well, first of all, like when I loved it when Hulk Hogan was hulking up, and Bobby Heenan, sounding just absolutely bored, goes, "Oh, I don't believe this." just absolutely shitting all over it, which is amazing. And also, according to Wikipedia, Kimchi is none other than Steve Lombardi.
Steve Lombardi.
A.K.A. the Brooklyn Brawler.
I haven't heard his real name in a long time.
That is Kimchi.
There you go.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Knew it had to be somebody. So, cool.
So backstage, we have an interview with Mr. Wonderful and his new manager, Oliver Humperdinck.
Oh Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Oh my God, this guy.
Yeah, did you guys know who he was before this?
I had to Google him.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, kind of a manager, flash in the pan, all around. Went to a bunch of different promotions. He was in WWF, kind of in and out, but yeah. Classic manager.
Through my Googling, I saw he was he was around.
He looked like a church.
So they talk about Mr. Wonderful taking on the Heenan family. Mean Gene brings up that tonight Orndorff faces against King Kong Bundy, and Orndorff says he is going to make the fat lady sing the blues. And then I read Mean Gene seems to really like that comment because he was like smiling. And then I said, so this is a commercial break has happened. They've done this interview. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They go back to the ring and Hogan is still posing.
He's still in the ring. Fucking posing.
Yes.
Hogan must pose.
Giving them what they want.
Hot dog and grandstand.
Oh, man. So then King Kong Bundy makes his way to meet Mr. Wonderful in the ring for their matchup. In the middle of the match, Bobby Heenan leaves the commentator table. He eventually gets back to the table for his big surprise, and his big surprise is none other than Andrade the Giant.
Yeah.
Fucking
Bobby was building his stable right here, man. This was great.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
So Andrade the Giant comes out to support King Kong Bundy. Mr. Wonderful gets Irish whipped into the corner towards the end, at which point Andre grabs Mr. Wonderful's trunks to trap him in the corner. And how scary is that? Just have this big paw.
Yeah,
just grab your trunks and he probably pinched his ass a little.
Yeah.
And allowing King Kong Bundy to hit the avalanche splash in the corner to get the victory.
So for this match, first of all, did you guys like the little cartoon graphics of the wrestlers, like when they were announcing the match card? Like they would have I loved that. I thought that was so cool. Like, they're just little cartoons.
Everybody had a gimmick back then, so it was easy for them to make logos and stuff like
little cartoons.
That's great.
At one point during the match, Heenan calls Mr. Wonderful a pipsqueak. It's like
pipsqueak.
There are many things that Paul Orndorff is. Pipsqueak is not one of them.
Nuts, yeah.
No. Also, did you guys see how King Kong Bundy would kick out of pens? He would just air bump. That's how he kicked out. He'd just be like, Merk.
And a couple times, Paul Orndorff would sell it, and he'd like fly off. But then, like towards the end, he just kind of flopped off.
Just the old pelvic thrust.
Yeah.
Also, my last thing is that when Andre came out, I was like, Andre! Because as previously stated, he's my favorite big man of all time. Yeah. So I fucking loved it.
Yeah, this was cool. Only thing I got is it was a good match. Typical 80s heel WWF match. Good stuff.
All right, so moving on, we say Mean Gene says the Hart Foundation attacking Macho Man is so. I thought this was a little crazy, a little bit of a stretch for Mean Gene here, but Mean Gene says the Hart Foundation attacking Macho Man is an event that will live in infamy and is up there with events like Pearl Harbor.
Mean Gene, what are you doing?
Oh, he's selling that on another level.
Jesus,
God, he compares the Hart Foundation to Pearl Harbor. He compares Brett like bouncing doing his awful promo.
I love these titles, man. Don't y'all like these titles?
Oh,
these tag team titles.
I do. They're the best ones ever.
Yeah.
Like this iteration of them is the best ever. Like I love these belts.
So we have a tag team match between Power and Glory and the Hart Foundation.
The Young Stallions and the Hart Foundation.
I actually wrote that down. Yeah. Yep. It cracks me up how every time Vince McMahon talks about Power and Glory, he says, "These young stallions."
What the fuck?
Paul Roma.
Yep, Paul Roma.
Pretty worst horseman ever era.
Yes.
And then Hart Foundation wins and retains their championships. That's really all I got on that match. Anything you guys got?
They didn't have no music yet. The Hart Foundation didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I love those titles.
Their tights were plain too. They're just pink.
Yeah, they were just pink. The matching jackets. Every tag team had a matching jacket, did they not?
Yes, they goddamn did.
The Killer Bees,
the Killer Bees.
like all these guys, man. That's how you knew they were going to be in a tag team. Last note was I love when Heenan calls somebody a ham and egger.
Yep, ham and egger.
That's Johnny Swinger uses that now all the time on Impact. He calls people ham and eggers. But that was my final note to that. But it was good to see. I love seeing the Hart Foundation like in their prime, man. This is good stuff.
I did too. Like young Brett looks like Owen. Like I kept looking at me like that looks so much like Owen. After this match, because Vince kept saying Young Stallions. I wanted to watch Bill and Ted, so I think I'm going to go
Wild Stallions.
Do that right now.
I love
he also said that the Hart Foundation are maniacal in their attacks. It's methodical, Vince, you dumb fuck. Methodical, not maniacal. You should listen to our show and then go back 30 years and fucking fix it.
But don't you know they're up there with Pearl Harbor?
Yeah. Yeah, that's his competition for dumbest thing said all night.
Yeah. So
fucking methodical.
We go back to Mean Gene in the back. This is where the madness meets the mania officially. 2 mega powers, they say. Hogan says, if he and Savage lock up, the world will explode, brother. The universes will collide. Then they go and the mega powers are formed. They do the handshake, the iconic slow handshake. And then not only do they do the one, I wrote down, they shake hands multiple times. And every time they do, they play up the power of their of them shaking up, them shaking hands. And I was just wrote down it was hilarious to me because like the first time they're like, it's so dramatic and they do it. And then it's, it's power and the whole, this alliance they just formed and then they just keep doing it.
Make sure that in case you didn't see it, here it is again. In case you didn't see it, here it is again.
Wait, one more time.
Yeah, so, AJ, you got anything about this before I play the clip?
So a couple of things. One, Hogan's wearing a weightlifting belt for some reason. Macho has on many, many different animal prints. And when they went off screen, it cracked me up because like they did the handshake, like once again, like ooh yeah, but then they held it, and Hogan like closed his eyes, and they went like this off the screen. Hold on, I'm gonna try to do
it. Yeah,
like exit stage left.
Yes, and the Hogan had his eyes closed while they were still shaking. He had like this weird smile on his face. I'm like, this is my favorite thing that Hulk Hogan has ever done in his entire career is this handshake, because he was like. And they just kind of left the screen. Made me laugh so goddamn much. Loved it. That's my only note for this.
All right. Well, let me play the audio here of Hogan and Macho that we just described to you with Mean Gene as the Mega Powers were formed here.
Yes.
A little earlier on here on Saturday night's main event when the madness met the mania. I am talking about Macho Madness and Hulkamania, two mega powers meeting here tonight. Hulk Hogan, what is happening?
Well, you know, Mean Gene, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man. And I'm just kind of a little worried about locking up here. It's all right. Because we just might blow the whole planet up, you know. Everybody knows that Hulkamania is the strongest force in this universe. But when I hit that ring and I saw what the madness was all about, I realized there was a whole nother universe out there, a whole nother frontier, and the power of the madness and the mania just blew my 24-inch guns out, man.
You mean to tell me there is another solar system, Macho Man?
Unbelievable. I'm still in a state of shock right now. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be coming down for a long period of time. Yeah, reckless abandon is what I used to be. Yeah, but Elizabeth opened up my eyes, and the big man right here, the big man, yeah, he endorsed Macho Madness, and he gave me direction. Yeah. Reckless abandon used to be, but direction now with the mega, the mega power, yeah, mega power, yeah. I feel the power now. I feel the power right there, big man.
There's the third handshake.
Oh, man, I'm all right. I've never been better. Yeah, don't you worry about the hit over the head, man. I'm just worried about where we're going from here. Is it this stratosphere, man? Is it the ionosphere?
Yes, it is, Hogan.
At this part, they remind me of two dads meeting at a barbecue.
Force. We should go ahead and take the whole
I cannot believe this. All that has happened here on Saturday night's main event. The Mega Powers, the Madness, Macho Man Randy Savage, and the heavyweight champion and Hulkamania.
I think I counted 5 handshakes.
That's amazing.
I think I counted 5 handshakes there.
I love how they're just yelling at the end, like trying to wrap it up.
Right.
The mega powers, brother. Yeah.
Classic.
Amazing.
Love it, man. Classic stuff.
So right after this, we have. So this is what I wrote. We have the world. Do you want to play it first? Or you want me to talk about it?
No, you talk about it. I was getting it ready.
We have the world premiere of Pile Driver. Now, I had never seen this.
Oh my god!
So I put we have the world premiere of Pile Driver, and I just wrote, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
Yeah.
Like after it said we had the world premiere of Pile Driver, I wrote, "This show has so many surprises."
It does, man. So Coco Beware, Billy Jack, Haynes, Superstar Billy Graham, Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, Don Morocco. They're basically on a construction site.
Oh my god, Primo, you've never seen this before. This is
No.
amazing.
Never seen. Oh, this
That
makes me even more happier.
Yeah,
That makes
me
me
too.
even more happier. How cheesy was it? The girl walking by, and then she walked back by, and they're
Like,
all
they
licking their
love
lips
the
and stuff.
They loved the first two that went by, but then the third one that went by, they were like, "Ew."
Here's
She was the hottest one.
let me play a little clip here for you.
Coco holding a sledgehammer for no reason.
It's Coco Beware singing right here.
Is it actually him singing?
It is. You can't tell?
I mean, I just like Vince goes to the back. He's like, "Who can sing?"
Here's your hook, boys.
I love that he says argument. Not argument, argument.
Argument.
Yeah, so this was hilarious, man. I bought this single on cassette tape. That's how it was funny. It was awful.
This is amazing. Don't ever call this awful ever again. This is amazing. I was so thrilled, because I had no idea that this was going to be on the show.
A theatrical masterpiece.
Oh, yep. I almost shit myself. I was so excited.
Yep.
So they come back from that after commercial break, and the show ends with Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan arguing as they were doing the whole show as they go off the air.
I love this because Vince was like, "Say goodnight," and Bobby was
he's like, "Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do." And then there's a beat, and then he goes, "Good night."
Good night.
Yep. So this is the reason why I picked one of these. So much happened on this. You had Bobby putting together his faction. You had the Mega Powers, the pile driver video that we didn't know we needed in our life. Yeah, pretty amazing. Next week we're going to be talking about Saturday night's main event from. Let's see, what is it? It is from. November 28th, 1987, which is actually the very next Saturday night's main event after this one came on. They only came on like once a month. So this one we're watching next week is the very next one. So you see a little bit of the fallout from what happened. And AJ is going to walk us through that one. There's a sneaky, I watched it just the other day. It's a sneaky Macho Bret Hart match that's really good. I know you'll be excited for it.
I'm so psyched. I love that we're doing these. I'm having just so much fun watching these.
I am too, man. You're seeing some stuff for the first time, man. Are you enjoying this?
Yeah, I really am, because it's like, obviously I'd consider all three of us probably at this point historians. We know quite a bit, throughout the time period of wrestling, and I've never watched some of these shows in completion. I've seen bits and pieces and obviously the highlights. So it's real cool to see all this stuff, what they thought was cool back in the day and what they thought was cool transitions and stuff like that, and how they formatted their show.
Today
Sorry about that.
No, what was that? Let's go.
That's coming up next.
But yeah, that was
go ahead.
Saturday night's main event.
I have no random sounds coming on my computer right now.
It's like going anywhere all of a sudden. What is happening here?
I don't know.
All right, so we just had a bunch of WWE releases, as we talked about at the beginning of the show. There's tons of free agents out there. Ring of Honor just let go a bunch of people. The indies are going to be on fire coming up here. With a lot of people trying to get signed and that kind of stuff. So you have to be thinking now, the ones that got released a while back, like Strowman, Bray Wyatt, the guys like that. I mean, looking back, they're probably pretty happy they got released earlier now. So what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on, what do you think is the bottom line, your reason why you think they actually released all these people? Is it really budget cuts, or what do you think?
Age.
Okay.
That's honestly age, and Nia Jax sucks. And Karrion Kross, there's I think a lot of it has to do with Keith Lee, they're attitude problems. It's no, it's not an attitude problem. He questioned why everything has sucked so much recently. That's what he did. That's not an attitude problem. That's being this is our product. Why are you fucking it up so much? I mean, look what they did with him. Look what they did with Karrion Kross. He has a point. So I think a lot of it is budget cuts. None of the 9/10 of the people that got cut make the industry minimum, $600 a week or something like that. I mean, obviously that's a made up figure. But it's not much. Budget cuts, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Budget cuts.
Primo, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's bullshit too. But I do think, obviously, for some of the bigger names out of this newer bunch, like Keith Lee and Karrion Kross and some of the others, it's probably the best thing for them. It's not like they're not going to find any work.
Sure.
And it was good that it happened before their image got tarnished any further.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, Why the fuck do you bring Eva Marie back just to release her like 2 months later?
Like, what were they expecting? Like, they're like, no, she's going to be much better this time. No, it's still fucking Eva Marie. She's gorgeous. That's all she does.
I think
like,
they have a lot of
plans.
Anything. I think they have a lot of plans a lot of times, and then they bail on them quick. You know what I mean? You know? So
when they realize that they're
know.
stupid plans.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I keep thinking like there's something else going on. Like WWE might end up being for sale. They got to get under a certain number in the books, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I keep thinking there's a bigger picture, but I don't know. That's just me. Let's one that we did hear from was Oni Larkin, aka Biff Busick. He's going to be back, man. One of my favorite guys on the Indies. Let's hear what he said about being released.
Today, I have officially been released from my WWE contract. I had a great 6 years with WWE. I'm going to look back on that time very fondly. I met some great people. I had some great experiences. It was definitely a cool chapter in life. Going forward, though, I'm very excited for the future. I have a 90-day no-compete clause in my WWE contract. So that brings me to about the first week of February, where I'll be able to work anywhere in the world. So I'm very excited for the future. I just want to say thank you to all the WWE fans for sticking with me. And I hope going forward, you'll continue to follow me and stick with me. And I'm very excited for the future. Biff rules.
Biff
Love that he threw that
Biff
in there
rules.
at the end.
That is
Biff
cool.
Busick, what a cool, I like that name.
Oh, do it rules.
Cool name.
Yep. All right, so quick question, guys. Not counting Roman Reigns and Omega, who's your favorite champion in any promotion right now with a title? Primo.
Oh man, you had to hit me first.
Yeah, I know. I was like, don't pick me.
Well, you've had the agenda, so you've had time to think about it.
No, I know. I looked at. I've looked at this several times. This exact question. When I was doing my notes, I looked at this exact question and I was like, "Man, you really got me here." But if the same name that keeps coming to my head, I'm gonna have to go with Sammy
Guevara. Okay.
Yeah, your TNT champion.
Primo. I mean,
yes, I said Sammy.
You did. Okay.
What do you think? What do you think, Primo?
So, Primo.
I'm gonna say Primo's is Sammy Guevara, Spanish God.
I am going to say
Ricky Starks, FTW.
I thought about that, and I don't know if it counted.
Yeah, me neither.
Because he hasn't been on in a while though, so I can't really pick him. I'm gonna say the Usos, just because there's.
I didn't even think about tag champs.
Just the fact that they pointed at each other.
That's funny.
That was just money right there.
Two kids in trouble.
I know, they're like, no.
Can we count the King of the Ring as the title?
I'm gonna lean towards WWE on this one. I'm liking. Look, I love Ciampa as a champ. You know what I mean? Like, I think he just fits it. One for the old guys. But Damian Priest is right there with me too, because I'm liking this new gimmick. So
I am too. I'm behind this.
I am liking that too.
Yeah, it's coming around. So, all right. So, guys, on IWTV this past week, Daniel Makabe, former guest and friend of the show, he did it's called The Life Of, and basically where he gets to carry around a camera for a while, film himself, what he's doing, training. This one was actually, he was probably filming this about the time that we talked to him, because it was right before the Phoenix City Invitational. So, AJ, you checked it out, man. What'd you think about it?
So, this was awesome. So, like I've already stated that after being introduced to Daniel Makabe, I was like an immediate super fan. And to find out that you guys know, I'm a giant music nerd. Like, my vinyl collection is right back there on that shelf. So when he was going, right when it started, I was trying to look around him to see his records. I'm like, please at some point go through that record collection. And he does.
He does.
And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I found 3 new bands that I'd never heard of before, which is fucking great. And he's just a fucking cool guy. He's just unassuming. He doesn't look like your typical, when he's outside of the ring, when he's in the ring, he looks like a fucking badass. But when he's outside of the ring, he just looks like a normal, unassuming guy. And I also went nuts when I saw this. When he was going through like he was talking about tape trading and all that stuff.
Yep.
And he was going through his tapes. There was a copy of Pile Driver, like right on the top.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
I didn't notice.
I
didn't notice that.
Right on the top of the box.
Oh, so cool.
But this was awesome. Like it obviously goes through, a day in the life. Well, actually, it goes in a few days of the life. But it ends up at the Scenic City Invitational, and a part of me, like, I kept like being like, say something about us. Just say something about us. He never does, obviously. But I highly recommend it. It was very cool, very interesting, and he's just a cool guy and a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah, he definitely is. I enjoyed it. It was always cool to see, and he showed a lot like where he's from, getting back in shape, getting back to the Scenic City Invitational. It was cool to just see his view and how he felt about, when he comes back to the Scenic City Invitational. So really cool. Go check it out on IWTV, The Life of Daniel Makabe. Excellent series there. I enjoy those, as hopefully they'll do more of those. So, all right, time to play a game, AJ. It's me versus you.
Play the game.
Primo is back. With, music class.
I haven't lost one of these little mid-card titles in quite a
I
while.
was going to say, you are running the board game, the whole running the board.
Yeah. On the two mid-card titles.
On the mini games.
Yeah. Not ready for that big time yet, though, but
it's coming. So, all right, Primo, you want to explain the game here?
Let's conduct some music class, boys. As you remember, we'll recall the instructions here. I have 5 songs for you, each playing in different increments at 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2 seconds, respectively. They will get easier as time goes on, but the time will be less.
Okay.
Best out of 5 wins. First to shout out the song will get the point for that specific song. Also, as mentioned before in previous episodes, I will accept any iteration of the person's name. So, are we ready for our first 10-second song?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Remember, they can be male superstar, faction, female superstar, and on any promotion.
Okay.
10 seconds start now.
Trish Stratus.
Damn, that was quick. I'm going to play the 10 seconds anyway.
Oh, hey there, it's Trish Stratus. It didn't even make a noise. You were just
somebody likes a little bit of Trish Stratus.
Well, I mean, I only listened to that entrance music for 20 years.
That seriously just went, and you went, Trish Stratus.
I just know the
had
laugh.
their dose of stratisfaction.
Wow. Well, shit.
Time for your 8-second clip. 1 point for a Dirty Bird. 8 seconds begin now.
Tatanka.
Ooh, that was close. I
think AJ got it. Got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. His T started before mine.
Whenever we said Tatanka earlier, I laughed because
that was coming.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had a Tatanka reference.
Oh, all right, 1-1. 6 seconds.
Disco Inferno.
Dude Love.
What was that?
I said Dude Love.
I said Disco Inferno. He said Dude Love.
Dude Love.
Ah, fuck you, Dude Love.
Yeah, baby. Give me them baby clothes. Give me them baby clothes.
Baby clothes.
Give me them baby clothes. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Let's see who
Eric,
gets this one.
You can take it on this one.
Let's see who gets this one quicker. Y'all better have your trigger fingers ready on this one.
Oh, shit.
4 seconds.
Oh, CM Punk. His first one. Kill Switch Engage.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes! Yes!
Woo! I got cocky before this one started.
Suck it, Billy Gunn. Suck it, AJ. Suck it, Billy Gunn.
Gobbledygooker, you can gobble this.
Yeah!
For those of you listening at home right now, 45-year-old Eric is chopping his crotch while bragging.
Hey, I like to win.
For the hell of it, we will play number 1, our last song, at a 2-second interval.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Dolph. Where did Dolph Ziggler come from? Clearly, the Miz.
Oh,
My brain is.
I came to show the world. I came to show the world.
Congratulations,
your winner is Dirty
Yeah,
Bird. Good job,
thank
Dirty.
you. One for the old guys.
There you go.
I'd like to thank all the 40-year-olds in the world who did it for us. I just want you to know I'm here for you every week to do it.
All right, take your Metamucil and ice your.
That was this edition of music
something.
class. Dirty basically swept it. Besides Tatanka.
Man,
Like seriously, that was a drubbing that I just took. Congratulations.
All right, so thank you, AJ. We're going to go over the AEW Full Gear card here real quick. AJ's going to read the card, and we're going to make quick predictions here as the big card is this Saturday night on pay-per-view. Bleacher Reports. I forget the other places you can get it, but Full Gear card. AJ, what do you got?
Yo.
To begin, Dirty, this one's for you since you are the new music class champ. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Title. Hardest match to predict, in my opinion.
I think it is too. I'm going to go Hangman because I think it's time for the babyface to take the title. Yeah, I think
that surprises me. I feel like not even 2 weeks ago you said this wouldn't happen.
I know.
I did too, but I'm starting to lean that direction as well.
They're swaying me, man. I feel like a big moment is coming.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's time.
Cowboy shit, motherfuckers.
Cowboy shit. Cowboy poop.
All right, Primo. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus my girl Tay Conti for the AEW Women's Championship.
Britt retains.
Yeah. I really wanted to take that one myself because that was an easy call. Fine, I'll do Bryan Danielson versus Miro. Fuck. For the finals of the World Championship Eliminator Tournament. I'm going to say Bryan Danielson. I don't, but I'm okay with Miro if he also.
I'm going to say shit finish gets moved to a triple threat.
Ooh.
Okay.
Just so
everybody stays gold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm changing my answer.
That would work. Primo's a good booker, ain't he?
Yeah, Primo, you're kind of on fire right now. Therefore, you can take this next one: CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. I mean, CM Punk's gonna win. I don't see CM Punk getting a loss yet.
Nope. But I see Eddie Kingston looking real nice.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. Just like with Darby and just like everybody else CM Punk's have faced, Eddie will, like we already know, but Eddie will get a real good shine.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Bird. Inner Circle versus Men of the Year and American Top Team, featuring Dan Lambert with American Top Team.
Oh yeah, this Inner Circle. The faces are going over.
They're finally going to get theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Which they lose a lot.
They do.
Okay, Lucha Brothers versus FTR for the AEW Tag Championships. I'll take this one. Lucha Bros, like they're not losing anytime soon.
Yeah, too early.
Yeah, plus they're still awesome. Ray Phoenix is there. Match is awesome. Kind of a hard one. Primo, Darby Allin versus MJF.
That is a hard one, but I'm going to have to say that Darby Allin's going to go over.
Really?
Yeah. I think Darby Allin takes it just off of, it doesn't hurt MJF to lose, like at all.
Right.
I don't think anything can hurt MJF at this point.
Right. He's such a good heel and so good at what he does that taking a loss does not affect him whatsoever.
Eric, what do you think? I mean, Dirty Bird, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Primo.
I'm gonna go.
He's the booker.
I'm actually gonna say MJF on this one.
Yeah,
because I think that. Well, now that I think that Hangman's taking the title, I want to see a Hangman and MJF feud. I think that'd be fun.
If Miro wins, though,
that's what.
Miro wins though, and we got Miro Hangman.
We got Sean.
That'd be so awesome too.
Sean Nick in the comments said that he said Hangman's will win and quickly lose it to MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work.
So, last match that they have listed right now: Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click. Dirty, what do you got?
I mean, this is first pay-per-view for the Super Click back together, I think. So they're definitely going over, all the good spots. They'll get the kiss in on Cole's face and all that good stuff that we love to see. I think that's where we're going with that.
I think so too.
Elite. The elite.
Do you think anyone makes an appearance? Any surprise run-ins?
Anything that rhymes with rotunda?
Yeah. Blow under?
Blow under? From under cheese?
I'm gonna say no, not yet. I'm gonna save him. But
I mean, Tony Khan is pretty good about letting his performers go and fuck off for a while and do other things. So I can still see it kind of happening. But
I feel like we'd already kind of know if he was going to be there, because I feel like that already gave us a hunch, or there'd been about a surprise about somebody showing up or something maybe.
Plus, Tony Khan isn't exactly Captain Sneaky Pants or anything.
Would you say Primo?
Who else is a hot free agent right now that their clause is up?
Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I don't see Jay Lethal. I see Jay Lethal going to the Indies. I don't see him going fucking AEW.
I found out that Braun Strowman and Raquel Gonzalez are a couple. Did y'all know that?
Yes, I did. I actually, I'm ashamed to say that I frequent TikTok, and I see them on there all the time.
Okay.
Do you like the dances, Primo? The ones where they're always like.
Of course he does.
Well, if I ever get to see you do that, I will watch it over. He watches
those shirtless cowboy videos. Not that I know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, you seem to know a little bit about this.
What's a shirtless cowboy? Why? How come everyone on TikTok has the same haircut? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Let's get to closing the show here. I want to thank Coastland for sponsoring the show. Where can you get the Sit Down Marks podcast, Primo?
Well, sir, you can get the Sit Down Marks podcast, obviously right here live every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Central for all you simpletons on Twitch.
Simpletons, I heard
fucking
that one time. Awesome.
But also, audio versions go, and they're published immediately after on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Prime Music, and Audible. Also available on SportsWire Online Radio live on Friday nights at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time, right before the...
number one!
That was lovely.
The number one, the Thomas Price Show.
I hope you appreciate that, Thomas.
That's right, Thomas. We love you, dude. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review if you love the pod. Share with your friends. Subscribe to. We're also on Facebook Podcast now. You can go on there. You can subscribe. You could also you can comment directly on the podcast on Facebook Podcast. So that's kind of fun too. We can interact with you on there and see what you think. So you could also make your own clips of our podcast on Facebook Podcast.
Yeah.
So that's cool too. And so that's all the places you can get us. Share us with your friends. Tell about 200 of them. We'd appreciate it.
All right. Let's get to AJ's MMA weekend picks. We had UFC big card coming up. All right, AJ. So coming into this week, you were 9-12.
Yeah, I'm falling down a little bit.
Over the weekend, you finished 3-2.
Ooh,
not bad.
Sub 500, but I'm catching
not too
back
bad
up
there. So yeah, you did decently well there. I was trying to look at your picks here. So you missed Covington. You got Rose and Gaethje and Burgos, and then you.
So I got 2 out of the ones that Primo called. So the two that I got right, Primo was the one.
And my sleeper did not win. But that's why he's a sleeper.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right.
Oh, yeah, I picked her
So that brings your overall record, AJ, to 12-14. So you're on the uptick here a little, at least.
Yeah.
Let's pick the cards for the weekend. Holland versus Dawkins.
Holland.
All right. Lenz versus St. Preux.
St. Preux.
Letson versus Spencer. This is the women's match.
What was the first one?
Letson versus Spencer.
Letson.
Rothwell versus DeLima.
No. Yes. DeLima.
All right. Main event. Holloway versus Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Shit.
All right, Primo, let's get to your lock of the week last week. You picked Rose. You did pick correct for all the gamblers out there. However, your sleeper pick did not come through. Edgar lost to Vera, so that makes you 1-0 coming into this week for all the gamblers. Who is your MMA lock of the week on this card?
My lock of the week, I got to go with my guy Max Holloway. He's going to take that in the main event against Yair Rodriguez.
God damn it! Can I switch mine?
Yair is 14-2 with 1 no contest. Max Holloway is 22-6, but Max Holloway is a bad man.
Well, shit.
You
misheard me, Dirty. When I made that, I was like, I believe I said Matt Holiday and wait, is that his name?
Holiday sauce.
It sounded like Rodriguez to me, so I went with Rodriguez. AJ, tell us what's going on the pod next week, man.
Next week we have a pretty awesome show. So joining us next week will be Logan Bruce, founder of Iron Spirit Pro, of which we are sponsoring in December. We also have
the card.
Oh yeah, he's going to come on, talk about the card. He might stick around, he might not. That is entirely up to him. Which will be very, very cool. We also have why did I lose it all of a sudden? I know I wrote it down somewhere.
Next week is our pre-Survivor Series show.
There it is. And
next week we're going to Primo's going to start to put up the title as we're going to make our picks next week. And Rick Marcus is going to be on the show.
Wait,
UK
is that next
wrestler.
Is that next week? That is
next
our
week. Yep.
Survivor Series. Oh God.
Wait, what?
Rick Marcus is going to be cool though. Like I look forward to that one.
Can we rewind to where you talked about the picks just now?
Oh yeah, next week
next week is the pre-Survivor Series show.
So I'm not quite ready to defend my title yet.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. You got to put it up here. So it's time. You kept that thing warm enough, man. Some of us need to get that one. So
look at him. Just
look at his little belt. Look at his little belt.
So that is the preview for next week.
Oh, also, if you want to follow along with us for Saturday night's main event, it will be the November 28th, 1987
there you go.
Episode featuring Macho Man and Bret Hart. Oh, and I have it all fucking written down right here. Jesus Christ, AJ.
Yep. Okay. We got it.
No, it's terrible. Just terrible.
So,
I don't know how to read. I fake it very well.
A couple notes here before we head on out. Davey Vega has been on AEW Dark. Also, Moonshine Mantell is on there this week.
Yeah, that was
versus
awesome.
Wardlow. So looking forward to seeing him. So, all right, you guys got anything else before we finish up the pod here today?
Yes, buy our merch.
Buy that merch.
Yeah, don't forget our Christmas merch just dropped. You can get it well in time between now and Christmas so that way you can rock it. You can stun Christmas.
That's right. Go check out that merch. Get yourself something. Before we go here, I got one last thing to say. My city of Atlanta, baby, we're on fire. My Braves just won the championship, the World Series. The Falcons just beat the Saints. And we're coming for Primo's Cowboys this week, baby. We're taking out the Cowboys. Get ready. I'm wearing my Matt Ryan jersey next week on the pod. Grab them cakes. Let's go home, baby.
Good luck. Good luck.
Grab them capes. Grab them capes.